Hey, party people! Welcome back. This is going to be episode 3B of the campaign. And just like always, we're going to do the recap, and then we're going to touch on where we left off with the party and get right into the session. Tessur, 22nd of Stivos, 301st year of Dark Reign, afternoon. It was short at least. The battle was no more than forced hands and pressured nerves. It was the mage that had done it. He stood high up on the mast and cast down the fireball that sunk one of the ships. Thankfully, there was only one that had not survived. The rest were either lightly burned or badly burned. Noteworthy, the party risked their lives to save the slaves from the sinking ship, and when it was all done, they spent their magics and did all that they could to heal the injured. With the mage in custody, they retreated to the quarters and slept the rest of the morning. They woke to the sounds of lapping waves against the prow. Gabriel experienced a dream when he slept. It was a valley, with two rolling hills and tall grass that nearly kissed his knees. On one hill stood an army of the undead led by Seamus, the Lich, and Kirill. The other one held the army of the living. Leading them stood Tamacti, the Lycan that they had encountered previously, Rubin, and Oscar Runecrest, the master of the mansion of the Fogwoods east of Ulstenburg. Gabriel's first important discussion of the day was about that dream. The second was his conversation with Thorgrim Oderson, the translator of the merchants and pilot of their ship. He was reluctant to discuss the freedom of the slaves and asked to change the subject quickly. After coming to terms, though not satisfied with that, Gabriel set off to interrogate the mage alongside Tamacti. Rubin united with the smith of the ships to request his armor repaired. It would be day's end when he'd got it back. The mage offered little aside from sarcasm and knowing grins. He told the party that he could not divulge the secrets of the Ravencourt Sanctuary and his mission here. What was later found out was that his smugness came to some degree from his ability to heal himself. So no matter how badly he was beaten, a simple hand gesture would ease the pain. That was until Gabriel had caught a glimpse of him and smashed both of the man's hands. Now he felt true pain. In a warmer light, at least Corrin was enjoying himself as he carved unrecognizable runes into the wall next to his bunk. And as the oddity of that was pondered on, Thorgrim called for Rubin to come to the ship's top deck, where he had something exciting to show Rubin. It was the first day of sailing, and he had caught a sight of a boon. A means to supplement their meals and raise spirits after the attack that had occurred that morning. And so we resume with you guys waking up on the first day. You went to bed kind of like early morning or mid-morning and woke up like midday and went about doing your stuff, interrogating and getting your armor repaired in Rubin's case and wondering what the hell Corrin was etching into the wall next to his bunk. And after the sea serpent was spotted and Thorgrim brought Rubin up above deck, he gestured over with his head towards the ship, like 3 or 4 down, when 2 people dove off of the boat all of a sudden, and shortly after they could be seen like streaking in arcs from the water into the air and back into the water like dolphins. The forms of 2 sea serpents, not quite as large as the one that was being hunted. They seem pretty confident that they'll be able to handle this sea serpent, and it'll be a great way to supplement their meals, and is recognized greatly as a boon by Thorgrim. And so I'd say we pick up with Rubin standing there next to Thorgrim. You see these serpents with these silvery blue scales and like long snaky bodies with fins at the edges, or like the top and bottom sides of their tails at the very end. And they're just like, they're going fast. The serpent that's being hunted is maybe 400 feet away or so, or 500 feet away, kind of going sideways away from the ships. And these 2 serpents are chasing it in quick pursuit. The 2 ghouls.
I don't remember if I asked last session, and if I did, I don't remember. How big is this serpent? Like the one they're chasing?
This one that's being hunted from the distance, it's a bit tough to judge. It could be anywhere between like 60 and
But like
80.
relative to the size of the closest ship.
It's about the length of a ship.
Oh, that's a pretty big fucking serpent.
Yeah,
Okay.
the ships are about 75 feet long. all the ships are pretty far from it still, so it's not like you can just kind of glance at one and it's like right next to it.
Okay, so it's bigger than a ship. Okay.
Yeah, who knows?
I'm gonna turn. Is Thorgrim? That's the translator, correct?
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna turn to the translator. How many of these can we expect to encounter?
He's like looking out towards this serpent, kind of has his eyes squinted a little bit in the sunlight that's like coming down. You know, it's midday, and so the sun's like right at the peak, as bright as it could be. And he's shielding his eyes with one hand while the other one is on the wheel of the ship, and he says, "Well, being that this is the first day and that that's the first, I would not be surprised if we came across 2 or 3 more in our travels.
They a danger to the ships?
A danger to the ships? No, not really. This one is a small one, not fully grown yet, but
Oh, shit.
it will do well."
I hate sea creatures. Right. Might I ask, have you seen the other two I was traveling with?
The other two, they,
Tamacti, Gabriel.
yeah, they went to interrogate the mage that was captured this morning.
Was he being held?
A couple ships over.
And Rubin gives a bit of a nod. How long before they start bringing this
Or sorry,
serpent?
it's actually the
Oh.
next ship over. I forgot. There's like a makeshift bridge made between the two right now.
Did this whole maneuver.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole
Okay.
maneuver. It's like two ropes, kind of like pulled taut side to side, and then like a single kind of plank to walk across. But anyway, sorry, what were you saying?
He was just asking how long it's going to be until, they've effectively killed it and brought it aboard a ship, if that's what they plan on doing.
Well, we have to catch up with it. It could be a matter of a few minutes before that happens. And the serpents will need to keep it in place for us to get close enough to harpoon it.
So I've got time before I can watch this display.
A few minutes, yeah.
And he nods again. Thank you. I will be back then shortly.
Sure.
And at that, Rubin's going to make his way across the flank, precariously placed, and crawl to the other ship, and then go down below deck where he assumed the prisoner would be held.
Yeah, and remind me really quickly, Covert, where's Tamacti at this time?
So after Tamacti had pulled Gabriel aside to have a short little one-on-one to discuss his violent tendencies, Tamacti was making his way upstairs to locate possibly one of the clan mages to see if they couldn't work their magic on this guy's mind to see if they couldn't undo whatever curse or spell has been cast upon him so that he can't really answer our questions even if he'd like to.
Got it. Okay. I'd say then probably about the time that the Rubin makes his way across, you are just like breaking out of the darkness and into the sunlight at the top of the ship's deck.
Oh, so we're like passing each other.
Yeah, kind of. Convenient timing.
Good morning, Tamacti.
Tamacti would nod to Rubin and gesture downstairs. I assume you're looking for Gabriel.
Yes, and this prisoner, have we learned anything why he's here?
Gabriel can catch you up. I have work to do. He would nod to you and keep on walking.
And Rubin nods again. He watches Tamacti walk off for a moment and then plunges below decks himself.
As he goes down below deck, Tamacti, you hear like a screech in the distance. Something high pitched, kind of metallic, like one piece of steel like scraping up against another kind of in the distance. And if you were to glance at it, you would see these two serpents like biting into and like kind of like wrapping around this larger serpent.
Tamacti would make a note of that, semi-interested, and then keep on trucking, looking for a mage if he can.
Okay. Then we're going to come down to Rubin for just a moment. So, Rubin, you're now going down below to the second floor.
Yeah, it's the bottom of the pit, right? Or
yeah, so it's like top deck, then there's second floor, and then there's like the bottom, and the bottom is where the slaves are, and that is currently where the mage is being held.
okay.
And I believe Gabriel is still down there with him, right? Or
Yeah, I didn't leave.
Okay.
I just broke his hands and stopped his
Hey,
healing or whatever.
Do I
and
hear
now,
a whimpering?
and now he's no longer smug. So we did it.
Yeah, you probably do hear like kind of whimpering, but
I'm
it's-
gonna follow the sound of crying.
we'll keep in mind it's like the environment on the ship is fairly loud. You have like the
That's
waves
true.
smashing up against it. You have the wind kind of like whistling through small gaps in the top deck, stuff like that.
And then the paid workers rowing.
Yeah. Rubin would first check the second floor then, because obviously he doesn't know where exactly this prisoner is.
Yeah, you don't seem to find him on the second floor. Would you like me to mention anything else that you might come across though?
Yeah. He's also looking around, a bit curious as to how this differs from the ship they're on.
Not by much. So the storage for food is still on the second deck. Sorry, I blinked for a second. The storage for the food is on the second deck, and most of the crewmen are also down there on the second floor. They have hammocks like strung up between the beams of the ship, and they have their own small little kind of bunks that have ropes at the edges in case the ship were to rock. They wouldn't just like get tossed out of their bunk, and barrels and crates are like tied in place. And you find like a little doll sitting on top of one of the barrels. They're maybe about the size of like a 4 or 5-year-old child, so a fairly large doll, and it's very cleanly crafted, and it takes the figure of a male. And other than that, it's just like sitting there on one of the crates that's tied up, and people are going about doing their business.
Oh, okay. So I'm just walking through a bunch of crewmen, and probably barging into a room or two that probably shouldn't be. And Rubin looks around for a moment, realizes no one he's looking for is here, and then starts walking his way back through, proceeding to the bottom deck where the slaves would be.
Okay. And down there at the bottom deck, it's bright up top because the sun is out. In the middle deck, it's like there are lanterns and stuff like this. Down at the bottom, there's like a single lantern at the stairs, and that's it.
Oh, there's like no light here.
Yeah, you can see at the edge of the light, and I think you can also see in the dark, right?
Yes, I have dark sight or dark vision.
Yeah, you see at the edge of the bright light is Gabriel, kind of, I don't know, squatting down or standing over. That's gonna be up to
Yeah, hunched over.
Ryder. Hunched over. This man that's like on his back, laying down, with all 4 limbs kind of stretched out, tied to the floor, like anchored there. Then there's the just rows upon rows of benches with like 2 slaves each on them, and this guy is just in the middle of that hallway between the rows of benches.
Okay. Yeah, as Rubin, stands there for a moment to look. He's first looking over the slaves leading up to that point, and then notices Gabriel hunched over someone. He says something, but completely inaudible over the sound of rowing and all that shit, and the sloshing of water, and then starts his way over, probably stopping just behind the man.
Turn around as I hear the footsteps. Ah, Rubin, I thought Tamacti was coming back.
No, he went somewhere.
Yes, he is looking for a magician. This one has I am not sure, a spell protecting him from saying the truth. But at least now he cannot heal himself. Isn't that right? I step on his leg one more time.
You don't have to do this. You can let me go.
No, I do not think I will.
I'm harmless now.
You are not harmless. Not until we figure out why you came.
He like sits there grimacing, pouting to himself, probably in a lot of pain.
Afterwards, I might think about it. I know for sure the ones last night who died did not have time to think about it.
Has he told us anything?
No, not particularly, other than, well, he was sent or he is from the Raven Court. Also, he knows Matisse, or met her.
I see. I suppose that's not too surprising. That's where the druid said he would take her.
Well, what is surprising is that this one came from there and tried to burn this old fleet down. To be fair, I suppose the Raven Court could be trying to protect Ostoya from the raids. It is my only theory as to why.
And Rubin looks over this man for a second, noticing the clearly broken hands and
little
the
twisted
smashed
fingers.
leg. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like mangled and jutting off in like every direction and like up in like directions
Nice.
they should not be going in.
Well, I'm not sure how much assistance I could be in garnering information, but I'm here to help.
Well, I'm not of much help either. I'm supposed to just stay here and watch him. Make sure he doesn't try anything.
But you don't need to. I can't cast spells now.
The fact that you keep hammering the point that you're harmless makes me think you are not.
I just don't want you near me.
Look down. Fair point. But I am not here to please you, so I will stay here.
And waste the sunshine?
I do not care. I was in Ostoya where there was no sun for weeks. I am used to it now. So is he.
And Rubin gives a nod to confirm that.
But think of it. Think of how warm it must be. Don't you want to see it?
And think about how cold your hand will be when I slice it off if you keep talking.
He gulps once and keeps his mouth shut.
Good. I do not wish to hear from you, unless you have something meaningful to tell me, or an answer. Do not speak. We will wait for Tamacti.
His jaw starts to tremble a little bit.
Good. Cry, little bitch. I say in my head.
Rubin's gonna kneel down beside this man, and he's gonna grab his canteen, fill it with a bit more water.
You gonna give him water? Damn, dude.
Would you like water? Just nod your head, yes or no.
With his jaw still trembling, he eyes it, kind of skeptical about whether or not this is some sort of trap or trick, but then relents and nods once, and then like half of a second nod.
And Rubin's gonna sort of reach out and grab the back of his head and tilt the canteen into his mouth.
And he like takes a couple sips, small sips. You keep sipping until you pull it away.
Everybody's soft.
Well, he's not gonna pull away. Just gonna let this man have it.
Oh, I know. Oh, I realize what you're doing.
I thought you were soft for a second, but thank God he's back.
Yeah, he doesn't know better, so he just keeps drinking it until you pull it away. So it's really up to you.
He drinks the entire thing,
He drinks the entire thing.
Damn.
and then I'm gonna cap up the little canteen again.
I
put it
kind
in
of
my
look
waist,
strangely in his direction, like in Rubin's direction.
and I'm just gonna wait. Just gonna wait.
His eyelids grow kind of heavy, and they blink once, and he quickly like flushes his eyes a couple times, like blinking 3 or 4 times rapidly. He shakes his head a little bit, and it looks like he starts to say something, and it's coming out slurred. Doesn't make any sense. And halfway through the first word, his eyes close, and he kind of like rolls his head to the side.
What did you do?
Well, now you don't need to guard him.
You put him asleep with something.
I did.
Is this also some form of dream leaves, was it? That Halifax used?
I don't believe it's as intense. He won't have good dreams. In fact, he won't dream at all. It's just sleep.
How long?
Until we wake him up.
Sure. Is there a way for you to heal his hands and his leg?
I could.
I wanted him to know what could happen now that I found this trick.
Yes.
But feel free to patch him up for now.
Yeah, I'll kneel. Well, I'm already knelt beside him, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna reach out and start mending these wounds. With my lay on hands, and do what I can. Obviously Rubin's not some medical expert, but definitely gotten a lot better at least treating his own wounds.
Yeah, I mean, lay on hands is just an entirely different thing, so no need to be an
Yeah.
expert there. And kind of whatever you try and heal it, you can hear it cracking as the bones sort of slip back into placement. And
Okay.
and then like the flesh begins to mend and heal rapidly from the edges, like forming in towards the center. And not that there was really like any wounds, but this is just an explanation of kind of what happens every time. These are just broken bones in this instance.
Gotcha.
One more thing. I take out a bit of rope. I'll just like tear off a piece of the cloak or whatever. So just some cloth, and I will kneel down to tie his 4 fingers together, leaving the thumb like free, just to like make them so they can't separate, and he can't do whatever weird incantations with his hands, just in case he gets any funny ideas when he wakes up. Probably disappeared.
Oh, I'm here. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I must have missed the part where that was directed to me.
Yeah, I guess it was to you since you're the DM, so you tell me if that's all right with you or not.
I'd say that's totally okay.
Okay, good. All right, so his 2 hands will be bound, and then the fingers themselves will be bound. Hopefully, leaving his thumbs won't fuck me over, but we'll see.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good precaution to take, definitely.
All right, stand back up and look back at Rubin. Was there something you wanted from me, since you do not wish for me to guard him anymore?
Well, I am simply presenting the opportunity to accomplish what you need to. I know that you had ideas you wanted to run by these people about.
And his gaze shifts over the slaves.
Every time I wish to speak to them about it, it seems like a bad time or a bad day. We will.
I think it will always be a bad time in their eyes.
I know. But better be a bad time when we are close to shore, so if they kick me out, I can swim.
And he nods his head. Don't wait too long.
I know. All I wish for them is to... Well, there are no realistic ways in which we get rid of all of the slaves before we beach. It is simply impossible. Were we to let go of the slaves, first the fleet would stop, and second, well, they would drown.
Well,
So I just wish for them to treat them better, especially if we are hunting. From what I heard from the updeck, we will have more food than necessary. We already had more food than necessary. For the warriors, that is.
yes, there are giant serpents. That's a real marvel to see.
But perhaps we should help with the hunt.
And he nods his head again. They seemed confident they could handle this one, but something tells me we might run into a larger one later.
I see. Well, we should offer our help. This will bolster our perception, or their perception of us, if we help them in the traditions.
He gives another nod.
Confident or not, I have seen men very confident in their abilities 5 minutes later with their guts spilled on the floor. Turn around, I'll go up the stairs. Let us go.
Okay.
And is there like a nearby slave? Someone that looks like they were not really focusing on what they were doing and more on what we were doing, or...
There's definitely more than one. I'd say there's
Yeah, I was
like
gonna
5 or
say
6.
I had some dudes cheering when I broke.
That's like the only form of entertainment that they probably have down here. Like they've definitely talked each other to death.
Any of them adults or like, definitely mature?
Yeah, like the age ranges are like late teens and elderly and like some adults.
Okay. Well, if there's an adult nearby, I'd like to approach them.
Mhm.
And, after standing up from the side of this wizard, sit down next to them as well.
Would you watch over this man? Make sure no one disturbs him.
He kind of like looks around at the others as if like did you hear what this guy just said? Kind of look. You want me to protect him from the others here?
Well, not necessarily protect.
You think that and he like tugs at his chain at his leg. You think that I, chained here, will have the ability to prevent anyone from bothering him?
I think you have the ability to shout, and that will be useful enough.
He blinks at you a couple times. Do you think that we can be heard on the top deck?
He lets out a quiet sigh,
Realizing that he is partially right.
Right. Well, do your best, please, to shout.
Yes, I will I will try my best.
Thank you. And Rubin stands after that. I'm gonna put alarm on it's kind of like a radius around the wizard. So if anyone enters it or he wakes up and starts moving around, it'll trigger.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay.
That's a cantrip, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh wait, no, it's a
Oh,
first
no,
level
it's a first
spell.
level spell.
Okay.
Sorry.
What spell?
Got you,
Alarm?
got you.
Yep. So I'm using.
You can do it as a ritual, can't you? Unless you don't have ritual casting.
I don't
probably
think I
don't.
do.
Well, I mean,
No, I don't.
alarm can definitely be cast as a ritual. You just need the ability.
Do you have a tiny bell and a piece of fine silver wire?
Tiny bell and a piece of.
Well,
fine silverware.
actually, you have your.
I have a. I thought I had a component pouch.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or-
you know what? I think you did buy one actually.
Yeah.
I vaguely recall that. Yeah, then I'd say you're good.
Yeah. Because
Well, you don't have a holy symbol?
Pouch. I do.
Oh
I
yeah,
do have a holy symbol.
that can work too.
Can
Any-
paladins do that? I thought that was just clerics. Or
No,
something.
it's any spellcaster. If you have your if you have like a
Your
either
focus.
your focus or a component pouch,
Oh.
it can cover any component that is not marked with a gold price. Anything with a gold price, you actually need to go and buy.
Oh, sick. Okay. Well, then double covered, I guess. But yeah, I'd like to cast alarm and around that radius. Not too close to slaves, so if they just move around.
Like, they're
triggers.
yeah, I
Yeah.
got you.
And then head up behind Gabriel.
Okay. And as you guys make it to the top deck, we're gonna slip on over to Tamacti. Tamacti,
Mhm.
you've probably got a few minutes before the others arrive back on top deck. So what are you doing?
Tamakti's just wandering around looking to see if he can't spot anyone with vague magish tendencies, perhaps weaving some signs in the air or, I don't know, breathing in some incense or something that seems mage-like.
I'm trying to think of the positioning of the ships. You probably aren't able to see all of them.
Okay, let me rephrase. Preferably someone on one of the two ships that I have physical access to.
No, I would say you don't spot anyone that clearly looks like a mage, but you do get approached by somebody from the ship that you're presently on that asks you, "Are you lost? Do you need something? You look confused."
Yes, I am looking for someone with knowledge in the arcane.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you won't find him on this ship. Sorry.
I see. And which ship is it that I might find him on?
He looks around, squinting his eyes, standing up on the tips of his toes, kind of looking as high as he can up over things. It's hard to tell from here, but I think it's that ship over there. He points to one that has a figurehead of a giant eye on it, with waves crashing over behind it as the figurehead.
Roughly how many ships away is that ship?
About 4.
Goddamn boats, dude.
That's the Wave Watcher, Morgang ship.
The Wave Watcher.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for this information. What is your name?
My name is Heftan.
Halfdan. Yes, you certainly don't look like a full Dan, that's for sure. I crack a smile.
No worries.
It was a joke. It was a joke, Halfdan.
Would you be surprised if I told you I've never heard that one before?
Really?
You see, exactly, you're surprised.
Okay. Well, Halfdan, I'm sure you have much to attend to on the vessel, and I have to be somewhere other than talking to you. So I'm going to head this way now. And then Tamacti would head back down below deck.
Damn, for having been on this earth for 1,000 years, you're... Yeah.
I haven't been on this earth for 1,000 years.
Okay, so you said you head down below deck? So I was
Yeah.
jotting down a note really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Then you probably come across Rubin and Gabriel on their way back up, right at the kind of stairs back up to the top deck.
Ah, friends, just who I was looking to see.
You hear another shriek in the distance.
Tamacti,
What?
any word on a wizard?
Say that again, Prowler?
You hear another shriek in the distance, by the way.
Oh, okay.
It's just that, letting you know the circumstances of what's going on over
Right.
there.
The serpent stances.
Yeah.
Yes, unfortunately, the closest mage is on a vessel known as the Wave Watcher. That is some distance away, and thus probably too difficult for us to get to.
Well, the prisoner is sleeping for now. I've bound his fingers together. That is why he did not care for the pain, by the way. He was healing himself with, I do not know, something, using his hands.
Interesting.
And well, I made sure to let him know that he could no longer use his hands if I was around. But for now, it is fine. Rubin has given him something, I do not know. But he is sleeping.
Very well.
And Rubin nods, as he's mentioned.
And I propose to Rubin that we help with whatever this hunt for this serpent is. It will bolster our stock with them, so to speak.
I imagine the waters are pretty frigid right now. I don't imagine you want to go for a swim.
Well, no, but none of them are swimming either. It's more so if the serpents attack the ship or whatever, we can do our best to keep them at bay.
Well, I think technically,
Especially you.
technically 2 of them are swimming, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yes. Have you seen it?
I've not been up deck. Nor have I seen this hunt before.
Well, come, take a look. It is quite interesting.
I will do so.
You see, the ships are already kind of like approaching, maybe now only 200 feet away from this serpent that is, there's just blood in the water around it as these 2 smaller kind of sea serpents, like I said before, bluish gray kind of scales or bluish silver kind of scales, are just like biting and like twisting and lurching onto this this larger serpent. And it's gotten a couple bites off on them for sure. Like, it's not feeble, definitely, but being kind of outnumbered like this and not having arms or legs or anything like that, it's still kind of an unfair fight.
Fair enough.
And you see on your ship and the other ships that are approaching, like people getting ready with harpoons with like ropes tied to the ends of them, like thin ropes, lines.
I see.
They will poon the creature soon, I'm sure.
Should we... I have never thrown a harpoon, so I'm not sure how good I would be.
Why don't we go ask
Thorgrim.
Thorgrim, thank you. My brain is so old and
I just raised an eyebrow. Right.
so riddled with dementia and anyway.
All right.
I'm fine. Perhaps it would perhaps be nice to offer at least a token sign of interest in helping to assist by throwing a harpoon or 3.
Sure.
I would certainly like to attempt it.
Machis.
Well, you certainly seem better at throwing things than I. But let us go ask Thorgrim if they need any assistance on this ship.
Sure.
I guess we'll walk over to a good old translator.
We shimmy.
Back across.
We shimmy across the bridge.
Yeah.
It breaks. We fall and die.
It breaks. You all fall and die. No.
Woo!
Yeah, you guys make it across. Are you guys going like one at a time or all together? It actually
Yeah,
doesn't
all
matter, you
together.
know?
All together for sure.
Okay.
We're actually jumping when we reach the center as well.
Holding
Okay.
hands.
Yeah, you make it across, and there on the helm of the ship is Thorgrim. And one thing that you could see from the other ship that you were on was the figurehead of the one that you're now boarding, the sea serpent. And it is on the front of it. It's got kind of like a coiled up sea serpent that comes from like the belly, the underside of the ship, and like rises its way up the front of it, and like goes along underneath the up towards the nose of the ship. And Thorgrim looks at you guys and calls out to Rubin first. Did you? Oh, you found them. Did you figure out what you needed?
No. We will need a magician to help us. He is under some kind of spell that provides or makes him unable to answer our questions.
Oh, a mage. Yeah, you could find one over at that ship over there.
Yes,
Wave
the
Watcher.
Wave Watcher.
Aye,
Oh,
Tamacti has informed us. We simply need well, we will help you with this sea serpent hunt if you would let us aid you. I am interested to see how it goes. And well, it would do well for us to take part in your traditions, now that we are, well, part of you.
Have you thrown a spear before or a harpoon?
I have thrown a spear. I imagine it is much of the same.
It's much of the same, yes.
Very well.
Go over there to those men there and tell them that I am ordering them to hand over their harpoons.
I nod. And I do just that. I don't know about we, but I.
I'll let you know when to throw them. Until then, don't.
Understood.
Ruben's gonna take a harpoon too, definitely.
Hey, Gabriel.
I turn back. What?
Perhaps I say as we're, I guess, walking over there.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps you should see if you can get away with just you ordering them to do it. Flex your new leadership, as it were. Just a test.
Well, it might end well, or it might end with one of them hating me. Who knows? I suppose we will see. Walk over to the men there. I don't know how many there are, but we'll need at least 3 harpoon.
So like I said, the ships are about 75 feet long.
I
Pretty
assume there's a
lengthy
couple
ship.
dudes.
There's definitely a few. There, like pretty much everyone, all hands on deck, is like gathered around right now. This is not only a big moment for the ships, but they've done this plenty of times. You kind of get the vibe that it's a form of entertainment for them practically at this point.
Yeah. Kind of like a goddamn gladiatorial arena where you throw a lion.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and they're all like watching with like bated breath at these serpents as the ships are getting on them, and they're now only 100 feet away, and it looks like the sea serpent and the ship next to you guys, which has pulled back the like makeshift bridge, are the two that are going to be paralleling this like fight that's going on, and the sails are like being hoisted up, and you hear the shouts of row die down below.
Sounds good. I suppose we'll go towards the middle of the pack, because I don't want to be the first one at the front to throw one. I want to see how they do it first, so I don't fuck it up. And I don't want to be last, because that's weakness.
Yeah, I'm with Gabriel on this one.
We'll go towards the middle and just find like a trio of guys, because I assume the other two also want to chuck a harpoon.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, Tamacti would like to give it a whirl as well.
There you go.
He's trying to conceal his excitement.
Is towards Finland.
I go up to Thor's doing this. We've done this plenty of times. Go towards the middle. I see 3 of the guys. Excuse me. Do you understand the common tongue?
They speak in a way that makes no sense to you at all,
Hmm.
except to Tamacti.
Oh, well, I turn towards Tamacti.
Oh, they're speaking Lich again.
Sorry, what did you say?
They are wondering if you speak the common tongue, which it seems you do not.
He nods once. That's correct.
My name is Tamacti. These are my friends, Gabriel and Rubin, and I would hold my forearm out in the way that I was shown to, like, what the hell is the word I'm trying to say? Grasp forearm to forearm in a greeting.
Sorry.
I observed this custom and committed to memory.
He pauses for a moment and then kind of like reaches out and grabs your forearm, pulls you like halfway towards him.
Mhm.
Tamacti, that's a strange name. Where are you from?
Long story, man.
I am from the Estoyan Empire originally, though I have not called that place home for many years. I'm a traveler, you see.
Right.
And, coincidentally, also now a custodian of one of the relics left behind by your former champion. I hold up my my left hand and display the ring upon it.
He looks at it, nods once, releases your arm. Well then, what can we do for you? What do you need?
My compatriots and I here have some interest in taking part in this hunt, so to speak. They're wondering if perhaps you might relinquish temporary ownership of your harpoon so that we may try our hand in it. Tamacti would give him a smile.
Do you hear this guy? He wants to try the harpoon. They all
And-
kind of chuckle a little bit.
Indeed, that is what I said.
Sure. It will be entertaining for us to watch, if nothing else.
Hmm.
What the fuck's that supposed to mean?
Reuben leans into Gabriel.
What are they saying?
I do not know, Rubin.
They're laughing.
There's only one who speaks that tongue here.
Wait for the whistle. Thorgrim will give it.
Sure.
He hands you his harpoon very stiffly. It's got like a coil of maybe 100 feet of rope on it.
And then Tamacti would sort of turn around with his back to everybody and pull out a small sort of inlaid mirror with sort of 3 points to it, carved in 3 different runes that would mean wheel, woe, and nothing. And then he would sort of catch the ray of one of the rays of the sun in the mirror and whisper to it, "Will we succeed in this hunt?" And then he would cast augury using this mirror.
So I'd like to clarify: is he just turning around to us, like speaking into a mirror? Because
Is this like a magic 8-ball?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Are you not familiar with the
No.
augury spell?
No.
Okay, well,
Yeah, it's kind of an 8-ball.
I just cast it in Foundry, so read up on it real quick. So mine is a mirror that I catch the light in.
I would say after reading this, and it definitely didn't take me about 2 minutes to read this because you guys won't hear that 2 minutes of silence. So
Because you're the best DM ever and you know all the spells.
But I'd say that as the little triangular mirrors capturing the light kind of seems to dance between weal and woe.
Tamacti would.
I looked at Tamacti as he's a little weird with his mirror. What?
He would tuck the mirror inside a pocket upon his leather jerkin. What?
Tamacti, why were you speaking to a mirror?
A custom from my childhood. He smiles.
I raise an eyebrow. The bullshit detector going off, but I don't prod him further. Very well. I guess the other 2 guys hand us harpoons to me and Rubin too, even though we didn't understand anything that
Yeah,
happened.
they
just then.
they all of a sudden are just like holding them out very stiffly, very rigid posture.
I grabbed them just as stiffly.
And Reuben utters what he thinks is "thank you" in their language from what he's heard so far.
Means gazoon tight.
Yeah, he utters "Gesundheit."
You're pretty accurate with your
Nice.
with your interpretation of the word. They both kind of smirk, like just halfway, nodding to you guys. Not like a malicious smirk or not like an expecting smirk. Just
But like this is gonna be fun.
this is gonna be
smirk.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. They expect us to fuck it up, but I'm gonna show them. So I guess in our inventory we just slap a javelin there. That'll do it. Like the same stats.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right.
Just for the sake of the roll,
Just-
I suppose.
yeah,
Or you could just roll a 1d20 plus your proficiency. I assume that you're all proficient in.
And strength.
Yeah, and strength.
Can it be dex instead of
Hell
strength?
no.
I'm gonna say no.
It's a ranged weapon.
Yeah, but it's a thrown range weapon, just like javelins, just like hand axes. They go off strength
Oh,
because
so
you're
it's-
chucking a big item, not like
Ooh,
a dexterous
yikes.
like little knife, you know.
Zero
let me
strength mod
desperately-
for Rubin here.
Let me
Yeah, I
desperately
was gonna
search
see
through
you
my.
you guys aren't good.
You guys are now 50 feet away from these serpents, and like the speed is slowing down quite a bit of the ship, so it's not like you're just a moment away from being on top of them. No, it's you got still a little bit more time.
So just to confirm, we are using the stats of a javelin.
Yeah.
All right, I get ready. I get ready on the bridge and I wait for that whistle
Come
or
on,
whatever
tell
the
me there's
sign
something
is.
I can make this into a dex attack. Come on. So fucked.
All right, you guys.
You're gonna be all right, boy.
You're like
I
30
make
feet away.
sure. Yeah, I make sure I'm not tangled in like any of the rope. You know, I make sure to step out of that.
I assume a powerful pose as an Olympic javelin thrower would.
Reuben doesn't look like he could throw it further than a rock.
All of a sudden, you guys find that you are parallel with the other ship, with now these 3 serpents wrestling between you guys. and suddenly two of the two smaller serpents separate. They peel off from the larger one and just go swimming in different directions. And this serpent, like bitten on the face and like the body and like bleeding quite a bit and dazed and confused, is now there like thrashing in the water, not really sure which way to go. And it looks like it's about to dive down when all of a sudden you hear a sharp whistle throughout the air, audible for both your ship and the other one. And suddenly you see harpoons being like chucked down.
I chuck it.
Make those rolls.
All right. Just a flat strength.
Well, no, if you're not proficient with a weapon, though you're
Yikes.
paladin, so you're definitely proficient in javelins because it's also a simple
Okay,
weapon.
so it's a
So
plus
you-
3.
Yeah, roll a d20 plus your proficiency modifier, and then plus whatever strength you have, which is probably 0.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So
add a
that's-
plus 0 in there. Oh.
Boys, see how it's done. Fuck, not too good either.
Okay, so a 10 from Tamacti, a 5
actually-
from Rubin, and a 14 from Gabriel.
Yeah.
You had a worse base roll than I did.
As these harpoons go like sailing over the edge down towards the creature, and maybe only about half of them stick, including Gabriel's amongst the three of you, and half of them like they plunge into the sea serpent, and they're barbed, and they go deep. I'm talking like 4 barbs easily.
So mine sinks in the creature or not?
It does.
Ah, thank
And
God.
and you see quickly those that missed going about rapidly like pulling up the rope, and this thing is just thrashing around, and suddenly it dives down underneath the surface.
Oh, shit.
Gabriel, you are now being pulled by this
Yeah.
thing. You have the opportunity to either hold on to it
Hold
or
on, dude, hold on.
okay.
I'm gonna move
watching-
over to help him hold on to it because
I summon my echo out of like instinct as it stands next to me to hold the rope, even though it doesn't actually do anything. It looks
Yeah,
cool.
and there's like you, and like right next to you is this echo like standing opposite from you of the rope, and you're both tugging, and you can see the rope is just taut from your hands down to the edge, and then like straight down from the edge towards the serpent, and you see one of the men from the opposite ship across from you guys get pulled over the edge,
Oh
and
no.
he's still holding on, he's going for it. I'm gonna need you, Gabriel, to make a
Oh no. A strength save.
strength
athletics?
save.
All right. Sounds good.
does he
man.
get advantage? I'm helping him as well.
I'll give it, sure.
All right. 24.
At 24. You see as like the rope starts to burn, like not like burn, I mean, but like
Yeah, my
it
finger, my
starts
hands.
to like
you know?
thread through your hands, and it hurts. You clench your teeth, and all of a sudden you lose your footing, and you're sliding across the floor, pulling Rubin along with you, and smash into the side of the railing there. And you two are. This railing is all that's stopping you, but you're holding on tight, and you are still aboard the ship.
Thank God.
And what is Tamacti doing?
So you said it. The serpent dove below the surface. Is that still
Yes.
visible, or is it like gone?
Yeah, it's still partially visible because these harpoons are being, forcing it to stay above, or not above the water, but like just beneath the surface, not able to go deeper down.
So
And there's maybe a total of like 10 harpoons only that are stuck into it.
Tamacti is going to reach behind him and pull his flintlock rifle from its holster, and take a musket ball from one of his reloading pouches, and channel a bit of arcane energy into it to turn it into a trick shot ball.
Okay.
And he's going to attempt to fire a body shot at the serpent, which upon a hit is required to make a Constitution saving throw, or it'll have disadvantage on strength and dexterity ability checks and saving throws,
Ooh.
which I imagine would probably be fairly helpful for it attempting to, power its way out of this.
So just to keep in mind, this thing is like 80 feet long.
Yeah, you probably got a really good con save, but hey, maybe it'll work.
Hey, we'll give it a whirl,
I'm gonna add like or I'm gonna decrease the DC, whatever it is,
For the
by
strength save.
by like 5. So I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but you go ahead and make that roll, and then I'll make the strength or con save.
Yeah. All right. Please. That's a 16.
You bring it over the edge and you fire down into the water, and you hear like that same sort of shriek reverberate through the water and like kind of like crawling up the ship's edges. It feels like as it's just like gently rumbles the ship. It's such a powerful shriek. And let me make that roll.
Okay, let me see. What's the calculation on that?
It rolled a 24.
Okay. Well,
It doesn't seem to be too affected.
I'm
by
gonna
it.
go ahead and roll damage though, because I did hit.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
15
Oh,
damage.
So you didn't try and recover the harpoon though?
It didn't get stuck in, so I assume it's just sort of like
Well, no, but you saw other dudes like reeling their ropes back and going for another chuck, I assume. But now it's too late because the guy, creature's gone under. So.
No, that was my play. I tried to hit it with the taser and it didn't work. So
You see suddenly the serpent smash up above the waves again as the two others like drive it to the surface from underneath, like pushing it up, and then more harpoons get chucked down.
Rubin, another. I have this.
And Rubin like gives him a hesitant nod, dives over for his own harpoon,
Mhm.
getting ready to throw it.
Yeah, and you're quickly just wheeling it up, like pulling on the rope rapidly, just hand after hand after hand, and you see one of the three men from before run over and chuck one down, and it sails across like the rope, kind of like rippling through the air behind it, and sinks right into the serpent behind its head somewhere, like if it were a normal body, like upper back kind of area, and it lets out another screech. Suddenly, you find yourself like there with that harpoon in your hand. It's like all just happening so fast. It's like clockwork. Your hands are moving.
Bro!
But it's not like these creatures, these other two serpents, can like hold it above water. They're not standing on anything. So like they force it back up, and then they kind of dive back down and swim away from it, trying not to get harpooned themselves.
Yeah,
And what is Tamacti doing then during this? Or sorry, back to Rubin. Continue.
I was just gonna say I'd like to throw.
Yeah, go for it. Make that roll.
Okay. Come on. Oh, that's a lot better.
20.
Woo!
Okay. Before I bring that one out, what is Tamacti doing during this time after he fired this shot off?
he's gonna go ahead and I guess reel his harpoon in.
Okay. You
Out of curiosity, you said it's how long is this serpent?
it's like 80 feet.
Could I attempt to estimate the weight of? Would you say it's less or more than 500 pounds?
Oh,
Probably a lot more.
Probably a whole lot more.
Probably
Actually,
like a
it's
few.
it's been working on its weight. Okay.
Oh, my bad.
No, it's easily a couple tons.
Okay. Well, yeah, Tamacti's gonna go ahead and and reel in the harpoon.
What the fuck were you trying to do?
I don't know, man.
Don't worry about it.
I'm real curious too. But anyways, yeah, you reel it in, and as you like get yours all the way up to the top, you see Rubin like next to you just like chuck his down, and it just sinks like with a thud right into the side of this serpent. And then the rope suddenly goes taut as you pull it back up to you, Rubin. Now you're holding onto this thing as well.
Yeah, I'd like to like get down and place my feet against that railing so that I won't get pulled over, head over
Uh-huh.
in.
Yeah. Okay. And Tamacti, you finally get yours back up all the way as this is happening. What do you do?
Throw it again.
We'll make that throw then.
Let's go.
I believe in you.
Come on, baby. Big
Come
roll.
on, baby.
14.
By
Woo,
now,
that's what
like
I rolled earlier.
by now, like 3/4 of the harpoons have been like reeled back in and thrown back down and sunk into it, including yours as it sails down. And all of a sudden, you see this thing like right as you get a hold of it, and the rope is still loose before you pull it back taut again. Suddenly, this thing like thrashes and tries to dive under again. I need you guys, all three of you, to make strength saving
Yeah.
throws. Tamacti, because yours is not taut, I'm gonna say it'll be quite a lurch all of a sudden. Yours is gonna be a disadvantage.
Dude, you start going over. I mean, I got a 19. I might go over too. Who knows?
Damn.
That was a
It's
16 with disadvantage.
it's me
That
and
is-
saving throws. I
Okay,
think,
so Gabriel and Tamacti passed Gabriel with a 19, Tamacti with a 16, but Rubin rolled a 5, and all of a sudden,
I didn't pass a 5.
no, all of a sudden, you.
I send my echo over. I gotta catch him.
Okay, well he's like being pulled right over. It's all of a sudden it's just happening, and he
Yeah, I see that. I see that he's losing grip. Like as I look next to me, I'm like, oh no. And if possible, if I have the reaction time, if not, it's okay. But I'll send the echo there to try and hold him onto the deck. Up to you.
I'm gonna say make a. See, this is where reflex rolls from.
I
Stalker
know,
Tabletop
right?
come
What
in.
about passive perception? If I would have noticed it,
You have a 15, right?
I do have a decent passive perception. My senses are acute.
I'd say you
Yeah.
probably would have noticed it. Whether or not you react in time is a different thing. So I'm gonna call for
Yeah, what do we roll here? What's the word? Because I don't know.
acrobatics.
Okay. Well, I tried your best, gave it your all, and I got a 5.
And a 5. You see him and you try and like. What was the plan with your echo?
Well, send the echo over, hopefully in front of him to just kind of like, so he'd crash into it instead of flipping over the goddamn railing, but not fast enough.
But you can't like interact with the echo, right?
Yeah, the echo can, it can kill stuff. It can make checks too to push stuff. Like I did, remember that one
Oh, that's
time
fair,
where
that's fair.
I held like was it a horse? I don't remember what it was, but it was something. And it was the
Yeah,
echo holding it.
I brain boofed for a second.
I would like to attempt something.
Okay.
It was good knowing you, Rubin.
So Tincher's floating disc states that the disc is immobile while you're within 200 feet of it,
Uh-huh.
and can hold up to 500 pounds. I'd like to try and cast the disc spell such that Rubin sort of slams into it and thus probably hurts like a son of a bitch. But if there's one thing we all know and love about Rubin, it's his ability to slam into things at full force and come out relatively unscathed. I'd like
you know
to
what?
try and break his speed with that floating disc.
Does that require any like somatic kind of hand gestures or anything? I just want to know if there's anything that would cause you to let go of the rope.
I would have to let go of the rope, yes.
Okay, then you let go of the rope. All of a sudden, you see him like flying over, and you cast Tessur's floating disc there, and he smashes into it. Rubin, you take
Oh, I just punched my desk. Oh, I was trying to make a noise.
7. Pretty lucky roll on that one. Very low, a 1, a 1, and a 5. You take
Oh,
7 bludgeoning damage as you smash into this disc.
Dang.
And as you do smash into it, there's like a moment where you're like, oh my god, am I gonna like slide over the edge of it? And you grab on, and you're able to secure yourself.
Ooh, man, that was close. And Rubin looks back up and like gives a thumbs up towards Tamacti.
Tamacti's sort of just like waving his hands in the air to stave off the massive rope burn he just received when he held on to his rope and it whiplashed him.
I think that Gabriel's probably a bit focused to notice this, and Rubin being in the air below the ship is unable to notice this. What's your passive perception, Tamacti?
15.
I think that you would notice this then. You see all of a sudden, like as if they had been gathering, but you just hadn't noticed them before, on both of the ships, a vast amount of other crewmen that have already like launched their harpoons down and secured them against the ship's railings and like the masts and stuff like that, taking up spears, like normal spears.
All right. Tamacti would take notice of this, but wouldn't say anything.
Damn.
I mean, what do you...
Tell me to get a spear and jump down. I mean, I guess
I'm not
just
about
when
to
I'm in the
tell you to
process.
jump in
Yeah,
the
worry
water
about
when
it.
you're wearing plate armor.
Yeah, but it's gonna be cool.
Until you drown.
You don't choose your end. Okay. I guess I'm tying up probably the rope now to like I see the others, tying up their own ropes to the.
Yeah, like you're
these-
holding on with one arm and you're like wrapping
Yeah,
the other with
exactly.
the other arm. You're like wrapping it around anything that you can get support on, and it's like you can see the veins like straining at the edges of your muscles in your left arm. I assume is the one that you're doing it with, as you're like using your right arm to coil it around something, and then all of a sudden you let go of that left one, and the rope just like snaps taut, and you're like tying it down.
Finally.
Then you hear 2 short whistle blasts from Thorgrim once again, and there's a roar of triumph as running up and like jumping up onto the edge of the railing and like diving over with spears in hand, like 20 crewmen from each ship go diving down towards the water where this creature is.
So that creature's back underwater then?
It's like just at the surface, practically.
How far is it from us, feet-wise?
Feet-wise, it's probably like an elevation difference of like 40 feet.
So like it's 40 feet down.
Yes.
Like these boats are tall as hell then, okay. Got it. No, but I meant like, from, let's say if it were directly like same height as us.
That's a good point. I'd say about 30 feet tall.
Okay. But I want to know like horizontally how far it is.
Like 10, 15 feet.
Oh, great.
from
That's
the
just the
ship's
range that I need. I see all the crewmen diving down with their harpoons, and I'm gonna take out my sword. I'm going for its head, bro.
Yeah, I'd like to dive in there too. I mean, I assume I'm right there now.
You are like right above it.
We gotta be kings, right? So we gotta do really ballsy shit for these guys. So I'm gonna summon my echo and shoot it 15 feet forward, so it's like above the creature. And then it starts falling, and then right before it makes contact, I'm gonna switch.
That's
And
so
I'm
sick.
gonna go ride the goddamn sea dragon.
That's sick.
Let's go again.
And are you using which weapon of yours?
The withered blade, of course.
Awesome. Okay. And at that point, I'm going to cut us away.
End the session. Oh.
I'm going to cut us away to maybe a couple hours later.
Oh damn, nice. So
Wow.
we did it. So I don't have to do rolls. Thank God.
Ooh.
Only one of you survived. It was Tamacti because he didn't jump off the boat and drown.
The sea serpent's back opens up into a giant mouth. And
So
it's
2
all-
hours later, Tamacti, you sit there grieving the loss of your true arm. No, you find yourselves. I'm gonna kind of let you guys decide exactly where you are, actually. But the serpent has been slain. The 2 druids went back up on top of their ship. Actually, they probably went onto the one that was parallel. They were a big part of this. They're being welcomed onto the ship that was parallel with your ship, and they're going about eating. Like there are all these harpoons and ropes tied to this thing, and it's keeping it above water, and it's just like limp there, dead, floating in the water. And men are down there like hacking at it with axes and like pulling away chunks of it and like stripping it of its scales and stuff like that. And they're like this silvery blue iridescent kind of color, and they're just like hacking away chunks of this meat and putting it into like buckets that are being towed back up with ropes and then like sent back down and just refilled over and over and over and over. And down on the second floor of each ship, you can smell the rich scent of stew and cooked meat in plentiful amounts. So I'm gonna let you guys decide. Are you like top deck or are you middle deck? Which ship are you on? Up to you. Let me know. Let's start with Strider.
Can I be down in the water hacking flesh away from the sea serpent with the men?
Yeah, sure. I'd say so.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be doing that. I gotta help them. I gotta be part of this culture.
Yeah. And it's been an exhausting 2 hours.
Yeah.
You're breathing heavy.
I guess I took off my armor too, because that would be unwise.
Probably, yeah. I'd say you probably retreated back up to the ship, then donned it off, and then went back down there. Yeah. Okay. What about Tamacti?
I would like to, if I can, co-opt Rubin as well.
Sure, what's up?
We need to snag some of this stew. You're gonna go feed one of the vessels, and I'm gonna feed the other one.
Yeah, I think Ruin would be down.
All right. If we can get some of this stew, as well as perhaps a ladle,
Ooh, that might be a tricky one to get.
maybe a spoon.
I'm gonna say you could maybe try and liberate one from the. Are you going back to your ship and trying to get it from the merchant woman, or are you trying to get it from the other ship's kind of chef?
I'll try and get it from the other ship chef.
Okay.
Ship chef.
And Rubin, are you kind of with Tamacti up until this point, or are you trying to work the sea serpent? I mean, like the ship, the sea serpent.
No, I think he would have followed him until like the full extent of the plan was ready to go.
Okay.
Until they both had their soup and ladle.
Here, take plenty. Make sure that you're well fed. This is a big sign, says the chef to you, Tamacti, as
Yes.
you're walking up. He hands you like an actual, like salad bowl sized bowl of this.
Like a big salad bowl.
Yeah, like a big salad bowl.
Let's go. Do you have a ladle or a spoon? Something I can borrow to eat this with?
How many of there are you in your group?
4. I answer. Tamacti would answer
Oh,
honestly.
yeah, I always forget.
He kind of like nods his head from side to side, scratches at his beard.
But
You
we
see one of the,
can-
like small beard hairs like fall down into the soup.
We can share. That's no issue. Perhaps 2, if you have 2 to spare.
Sure. I think we could spare them, but I better get them back.
You will. Thank you very much. What is the what is the colloquial term for friend?
Yeah,
Here,
thank you
you know,
very
I
much,
was-
Makashin.
I was about to call him brat, but then I realized that that's probably not
Are you talking in
Thank you,
actual
Brad.
Russian?
whatever language they speak here.
Well, they speak, Veliki or
Yeah.
or-
What is the term for friend in Valakan?
Yeah, it's Drew.
well,
Drew?
as we clearly roleplay them as pseudo Russians, the word for friend in Russian, or at least, is drug.
Okay. Thank you very much, Drug.
Don't you remember the Droog meme?
I didn't know if we were rolling with that full stop. Drug's
Yeah.
a bit of a.
Yeah, and I just say "Spasiba, brat," and
Hey, brat.
Yeah, just a bratya.
I take the soup and ladle.
Yeah, they nod and go on to serving the next kind of warrior that's there standing behind you in like drenched furs. He must have been one of the ones that dove down there.
All right.
Oh yeah.
And
I'll-
this stew, I'm talking like chunks of this serpent meat.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
Ooh.
like
that's good.
yeah, big chunks.
Tamacti would pull Rubin aside.
Yeah, and it looked like Rubin was about to say something anyway, so he stops though to let Tamacti go.
The slaves on the ship we are sleeping on are already, I suppose, used to that sort of treatment, so it may be easier for you if you go to that one while I make inroads onto this ship here.
And he gives a little bit of a nod. I can do that.
Be sure to ration it. I'd hate for us to run out before we feed them all.
I will do my best.
Good. I will see you back here soon. Drug, he would say.
Okay, Brett. All right, and he gives him a nod without saying anything. He doesn't know what Droog means, and starts walking off up the deck and onto the other ship.
And Lesnitsky was gone.
And Lesnitsky was gone.
Okay, and you make your way over to the edge of the ship that you're currently on. You have this stew in like a big soup bowl. I mean, a big salad bowl.
Oh yeah.
And there is a very shakily like plank between the two ships and like two
Oh.
ropes that are taut.
Okay,
He's
hold
gonna
on.
spill it all.
Hold on. Let me look at my spells.
It's gonna be like Kevin's chili in the
We'll come
office.
back to you on this. I'm gonna give you a moment to think about it. Meanwhile, Tamacti, you probably go down below to the next deck.
I do indeed.
It's dark down there, like I've described with it previously. There's just like a single lantern there.
And I will, as previously, cast dancing lights around myself.
Okay. And you see gaunt, pale, hungry faces as far as the light will span.
Are there, I assume, like, it's the same setup as the other ship, the same amount of people?
Yeah, like same
Okay.
amount of rows, same amount of benches, same amount of people per bench.
Sure. Hello, my children. I have come with some food for you. Serpent meat. A stew. There is enough for you all.
You see one of the ones like closest to you, like you can hear them smack his lips, like very dry, like trying to lick his lips, like the saliva just very thin.
And Tamacti will begin working his way down the rows of benches with his ladle. And he'll sort of try and guesstimate as best he can. Try, if not everyone gets a full ladle, it's more important that everyone eats than everyone gets a full ladle type deal. So I'll try and make sure that everyone gets at least a bit of serpent meat, with just the broth itself.
And the first man, the one that I just described, was very hungry looking. He kind of like supports the ladle with both of his hands, like shakily, and the ships are still like, they're not like sailing right now, but the waves are still kind of like tilting them just side to side gently. And he drinks from the ladle and then like takes the chunk of serpent meat out with his like fingers and like eats it and chewing on it, savoring it. How much will we get, sir? Please, could they have more?
I will have to feed everyone else first. Then if there is enough, everyone will get more. But do not worry. I will do everything in my power to take care of you all. And then Tamacti would move on to the next person.
You get through like half of the populace down there when you hear steps coming from the middle deck down to the bottom deck.
Uh-oh.
And there's one of the crewmen holding like a bucket with a ladle, and it's probably just water. All right, straighten your backs, water time. And then he notices you.
I got water here, bro. I'm doing it.
What are you doing down here?
Rewarding them for their tireless work and helping us to catch up to those serpents.
Rewarding them? They're slaves.
Yes.
What reward could they possibly need?
Everyone works harder with the reward. I don't expect you to understand, but it is what I am doing nonetheless.
And who told you that this was the right thing to do?
Tamacti would set down the bowl and ladle on the ground. No one. I decided for myself it was the right thing to do.
He squints at you. He sets down the bucket, putting the ladle down into it. And he rests a hand on a hand axe at his side.
Yeah, okay, cowboy.
Tamacti would rest his hands on both of his flintlocks, making sure that the glow of the ring of the withered warrior sort of shines through the dim light of the chamber or the area.
You see his eyes flit down to the ring once, then back up to your eyes, and then down a second time at the ring. You need to stop what you're doing.
No, I will not.
It looked like he was about to say something else, and then all of a sudden he like holds his breath as you say that. What?
I said no. This is a discussion that myself and your captain can have at another time. But for now, you can leave the water bucket here. After I am finished feeding them, I'll make sure they have had their fill of water as well. You have done your job. Thank you. And Tamacti would give a smile that isn't very friendly.
He like draws in a steep breath and pulls the hand axe free from its loop at his belt, holding it in his hand. This is your last warning. Take the bowl and go back up to the top deck, and I will not report this.
I trust that you are aware of what this ring is. All of you Northmen are raised on stories of it and the two other items that the withered warrior carried with him that were safeguarded in the trials, yes. And thus I'm sure you are also aware of the trials themselves, perhaps even lost friends who fancied themselves seasoned warriors capable of standing the trials.
Don't you speak ill of the dead? And he like bites his lip a little bit.
I am not speaking ill of anyone, friend.
You are an outsider. You will never lead us.
And yet an outsider was the one able to claim this ring, as well as the plate and the sword. Was the withered warrior himself not an outsider that came to unite the clans?
He thinks on it for a moment.
And Tamacti would level that question at him.
The withered warrior was as much a Valakin as the rest of us.
If that is true, then surely you all would have laid down your arms and followed him without a fight. And yet he had to take his reign, claw it away from the rest of you.
His ancestry was not from the north, but he had northern blood. You're a Midlander, a Southlander, one of them. I don't care, but you're not from here.
I can assure you, friend, that no Midlander blood runs through my veins anymore. And then in the darkness, just the faintest of blue would glow in Tamacti's eyes.
He stands there staring at you for a prolonged period of time, like drawing in heavy breaths that you can hear him drawing through his nose and like letting out softly through his mouth. And he stuffs the axe back into the loop and grabs the bucket and dumps it out on the floor, and then goes about moving back up to the middle deck.
Tamacti nods in acceptance as he does this and calls out, "Your name, Northman. I respect your bravery, if nothing else. I would like to know what to call you."
Don't ask my name. Tell them yours, because they'll know now that they won't have water because of you. And he turns, ignoring you, and goes all the way back up the stairs.
Tamacti would sigh, take his hands off his pistols, and turn around and, reaching down, pick up the bowl of stew and the ladle, and resume walking around, feeding all of the captives.
Okay, coming away from this, and over to Rubin.
Yeah,
And then I'm
so
going to
there's
get back to Strider as well.
There's a bridge to cross.
There is.
Yeah, I figured it's somewhat Sable. I think put the bowl in like the crook of the arm while holding it against the chest, to make sure it doesn't slip out, and use the other hand to hold onto the rope as Rubin's walking across this bridge.
Okay.
And he's not like going so slowly to where he's gonna a giant fucking bump's gonna happen, but definitely taking his time is not to rush it or slip or something.
And it is a form of balancing on something. I'm going to ask for an acrobatics check.
I could do that.
An 18. Okay. You make it across, spilling maybe only a single ladle worth of this soup or stew.
Hell yeah.
And there you are, securely on the Sea Serpent, the ship.
Down to the bottom decks I go.
As you make your way down the second deck, you see standing in line waiting for food, Corin.
Oh. How is he looking? I haven't seen him, and he wasn't feeling well the previous day. I'm gonna stop for a moment, just peer over at him.
He looks. It is still the same day, by the way. He looks a little irritated by the expression on his face, like clenched jaw, kind of like squinted eyes down here in the middle floor or the middle deck, and really just looks irritable.
Okay. I'll Rubin's gonna deal with that in a little. He first wants to feed these people who are starving in the lower decks. So, as much as he cares, he is gonna go down to the next level.
Okay, and just before you go down there, you see a man come up the stairs with a bucket. The bucket looks fairly empty, and then he walks over towards the food line, and that's probably when you slink down there, I would assume.
Yep.
Okay, and down there, just like the other ship, a single light at the base of the stairs, and then darkness. And as far as the light can go, you see in the bright light these faces, but with your dark vision, you see faces past that, just pale, gaunt, sunken features, exhausted, starving, thirsty, all the emotions.
Without saying much, Rubin's gonna, go to the first person on the right and lower down. He looks at the bowl for a moment and among all the people and does his best to ladle up, what he'd assume would be the right amount and give it to this first person, giving them a nod, letting them drink slowly from it, and then move to the next down the line, doing the whole right side, then coming back up the left.
The younger kind of girl, maybe
definitely saving some of the meat, for the children.
maybe like late teens kind of looking girl, speaks up to you after getting her ladle of the stew, and they're all very appreciative looking. But as Tamacti had mentioned before, you had made your way over the ship. Perhaps they're at least somewhat accustomed to this treatment now that it's happened once.
Yeah.
It's still surprising to them that it's happening again, but they're generally more accepting of it and kind of more calm about it, not like trying to like get at each other's throats to get another ladle. And this girl says, "You're not the same one from the other day, are you?"
And it looked like he was about to lift up to go to the next person, stops and looks over there. No, I am not. My name is Rubin.
Where is he?
He is feeding others like you on another ship.
A kind soul.
He offers his head and a nod again.
And what is your name?
My name is Lanya.
Lanya. With hope, soon, you will not have to be treated this way and fed in secret.
You're lying.
Lying.
That will never happen.
And why do you think that?
Because that's the way that slaves are treated. It can never be this.
I wouldn't be so sure to be definitive on these things. Keep a smile and hope for the future.
She tries to smile, and then her head kind of like tilts down a little bit. And she says it under her breath before you move on to the next person. Thank you, anyways.
And he offers her a nod and does his best to smile back. And he's not one for smiling too often, but musters what he can.
Is he wearing his helmet?
It's kind of just like on his waist at the moment.
Got it.
Like tied to a little bit of rope.
Yeah, got it.
Because he's not even wearing the plate. He's just got some like chainmail on that he wears underneath.
Yeah, probably deposited it back at the room, just like how Gabriel deposited his plate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, his is still being repaired.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Yep.
he hasn't gotten it back yet.
Mhm.
So yeah, he moves them next, and so on. And if they talk or something, he offers what little he can. Definitely not a philosopher or as good with wordcraft as Tamacti is, but
It's mostly thanks.
the intent is there.
Okay, and so you both are feeding your respective ships. The one that you are on, Tamacti, I believe, is the Rush Head, if I'm not mistaken.
It's the one where the where the mage was being held, certainly.
Yeah. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly which ship it was, but I think we're going to say it was the Winter Maw.
Sure, why not?
That being said, I'm going to jot that down as a note.
You marking all the people we're ruining relations with?
No. Well, sort of, That being said, I want to come over to Gabriel. It takes the better part of the 2 hours, the couple hours that we kind of like time skipped, and then probably the next 30 minutes to finish hacking away and like cleaning up what's worth taking from this serpent. Like his entrails fall into the water, and there are a couple men that are at all times like there with spears, watching for anything that might try and like
Come back and get it.
attack and like try and get a bite of this food. And long ago, like pretty much when it died is when the druids kind of went back up onto the ship and stopped patrolling the waters. So it's a little bit eerie kind of as like just bloody water is just all around you, and you can't really see deep into it. But about 30 minutes pass and it's cleaned up enough, and one of the women down there, like Shield Maiden, turns and speaks to you. She's got like brown hair, brown eyes, just kind of like a thin leather tunic on, not like something that would weigh her down if she did fall in the water, something simple. And she's got a hand axe of her own, like holding it, and like just sent up the last bucket that she had prepared, and turns and says to you, "You did well out there."
Nod my head, like tired. Thank you. I appreciate it. I try my best to help.
This your first time in the north?
Well, yes, it is my first time. As you can tell, I am not from here.
Yeah, it doesn't look like you're from the north, but It's good that you're trying.
It is all I can do. I claimed the sword that was from this land. I can only try and adapt myself to it.
May I see the sword? Not hold it, just...
Of
Do
course,
you mind holding it out?
I take it out and yeah, I hand it over to her. She can grab it if she wants. Yeah, you can grab it.
She seems very reluctant to touch it. And kind of like shakes her head like, no, it's fine.
She doesn't want to wither,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah, she doesn't want to wither and die, but she doesn't know you gotta attune to it. She's all right, but I get it.
But looking at the black sort of twisting hilt and coming up to like the hand guard, and then the blade that like starts thick at the base and then like comes to a point at the edge with like sort of almost like a wood kind of grain throughout it, but like pitch black steel blade, and like along those little grains, like the little lines in the wood grain kind of texture, purple sort of lines like glowing through it, all the way towards the edges of the blade. And she like brings her hand out and like not touching the blade, but like kind of traces the words carved into it in runes that say "sharp is the blade." It really is the sword. I grew up hearing all about it as a child. It's hard to think that I would ever see it.
Even harder for me.
Was he at peace?
I nod.
She brings her eyes up to you.
He was in his temple, but I believe he was also glad to pass on the mantle to someone else. Someone else to take his place. And then, when I wither, to wait for another.
Her eyes actually kind of well up just a little bit as she's like just thinking about what you said. He did well for the North.
He did. Myself and my 2 compatriots will try to live up to that as best we can, but we are only men. I suppose he was once upon a time too.
He was. We should go now.
I nod.
She like brings the edge of like the backside of her thumb up and kind of like runs it underneath her eyes.
I put the sword back on my back, and I guess I'll go like collect the armor that I kind of like left on the side of the deck as I took it off.
Mm-hmm.
Bring that back down to my room. I guess, are we on the same boat or are we on the second boat?
You're
like,
in between them.
Oh well, yeah, I know, but like when we climb back up, like
If you climb back up, it depends which way you go. She goes back to the winter maw, but you could take a rope up to the sea serpent if you wanted to.
I'll take a rope to the sea serpent just to go probably put this away and also speak to Ean Grimm. Probably doesn't want to talk about what I'm about to bring up to him, but hey man, slave rights. So where are we at with that? He's gonna be like, come on, not today, man.
Before you did make your way up that up to the ship, the shield maiden that was there at like after she had mentioned to you that it's probably time to go, and like wiped away under her left eye. You don't talk about this conversation.
I nod.
We have to be stronger than this in the North. I can't be seen like this.
I smile a bit. Very well. Strength comes in different forms. Remember that. Climb up the rope.
Yeah, she nods to you and makes her way up the other rope. So yeah, now you collect your armor, go back down to the mid deck, and probably
hopefully Corin's not again placing weird signs on them.
He has by now grabbed his food. Rubin has finished feeding the lower deck on the Sea Serpent. Tamacti has finished feeding the lower deck on the Winter Maw, and as you're making your way into your room, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. As you make your way in there, you see Corin with his like little bowl already empty, like the spoon kind of just chilling there in the empty bowl on his bed. He's just sitting there carving away.
Speak of Corin.
Gabriel.
What are you carving?
Just words. Prayer. The sea makes me nervous.
I see. Well, we should have a few more days, then we will be back on the land. Hopefully in one piece. I would assume these men are talented at sailing.
Yes, hopefully.
Did you see the hunt earlier?
I was here.
Have you been in this room the entire time?
Other than to get food, yes. Like I said, the sea makes me nervous.
I was going to say, suggest some air to you before the sun completely sets, but it seems you have your mind fixed. So I will leave you be. Did you know where Rubin go? Or Tamacti? Did they come here?
I believe that I saw him go beneath to the lower deck, actually, in passing.
I nod. Very well. I will go see. Thank you, Speaker Quan. Have a nice evening.
He says nothing.
Of course. Because he's placing alchemical bombs on the walls.
After coming back up to the mid deck of the ship, what does Rubin do?
He's probably gonna if by that point Corin's not there, he's gonna check the room, so would definitely be passing Gabriel on the way.
Yeah, I'd say you two probably meet up at the door, and so before I get to you guys, then I want to know what is Tamacti doing once he finishes feeding the other ship.
He's going to pull out his canteen of water and start trying to ration as best he can to give them a drink of water as well.
Okay, and it's just like the smallest sips because there's so many of them, and one of them takes a larger sip, probably enough for like 3 or 4 people.
Damn, what the fuck?
I give him a semi-disapproving look.
It's a young boy, maybe 9, 10 years old.
And then when I take in, sort of like look at him, my eyes, my hard gaze softens a little, and then I kind of pat him on the shoulder. It's all right. And then I move on to the next.
Mm-hmm. And the rest of them they would have gotten more water if it was from the bucket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but hey, like faced with a bucket of water or a ladle full of stew, I know what I'm taking.
It is a difference, definitely. There's just still kind of like a solemn atmosphere to the deck, the lower deck, I should say.
I sort of cast around for. I guess I'll just go to the front and like locate the first like adult that I can find that looks like they are sort of sound mind, if not body.
Sorry, you said like on the slave deck still?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you like the first couple rows are pretty much just adults.
Okay. I'll go up to. Is there like an old, wise-looking woman? They're always great to talk to.
I would say yeah, there is.
Okay. I'll go up to her.
Arms are like abnormally skinny. It's a wonder that she is faring well enough.
I nod to her. Hello. What is your name?
Thank you, young man. You've done us very well today.
Please, do not thank me. I am only sorry that this is all that I can do. But I have a favor to ask of you in return for my kindness. That man that was supposed to bring the water, or any that come like him, if he mistreats you, they mistreat you in any way, when I come back, please tell me exactly what it is they said and did, if anything. Will you promise to do this for me?
Young man, my heart swells. You're too kind to us.
Tamacti would sort of smile at this young man comment, and sort of.
If only you knew.
And sort of scratched the back of his head. Yes, well, I believe that everyone is put upon this world to serve some purpose. I am still trying to discover mine, but until I do, I will try and help whoever I can. And luckily, I was able to help you. And he would nod and sort of put a hand on her shoulder and give it a reassuring squeeze. And then he would did that guy leave the bucket, or did he just sort of like drop it and walk out?
He like purposely dumped it
Okay.
full upside down on the floor and then left it there and walked up.
Okay, well, Tamacti would reach down, grab the bucket, and walk back upstairs.
Okay. Anything specific in mind, or just?
Yes, I want to look for the guy that dumped the bucket.
I'd say make a perception. There are a lot of people on the ship. People are moving around, and things are a little bit busy.
You know what? Actually, scratch that. No time to be petty. Gotta help these people out. Tamacti's gonna cast around for the first person he sees that doesn't look particularly busy.
There's everyone's kind of like doing little self rituals after the hunt. But you see one man kind of like sharpening a dagger.
Tamacti would walk over to him.
He doesn't seem to notice you right away.
He sets the bucket down on the ground in front of the man's feet. The slaves need watering. Make sure they get it, otherwise they won't perform like they need to tomorrow. And he's going to. I'd like to make some sort of I guess maybe a deception check to like lean into like obviously I'm faking my disdain for them, but I'm trying to like I don't know.
You mean a performance?
Yeah, sure, a performance. Try and side with these guys so they'll do what I want them to do more easily.
Yeah, let's see a performance then.
That's a 13.
Not bad.
Pretty good.
We'll get back to this. Coming back over to Rubin and Gabriel. You two are meeting just outside. Like Gabriel, I imagine is just like closing the door behind himself as he's leaving the room, and he practically bumps into Rubin.
How was cutting up the serpent?
Exhausting.
I can see that you are drenched.
I looked to your empty bowl and the ladle, and that you were downstairs. Where were you?
Feeding the slaves below deck.
Anyone saw you?
He offered a little bit of a shrug. I didn't exactly try to hide my efforts, but I don't believe many were looking my way. Should I be hiding this?
I believe so. Every time we speak of the slaves and, speak of them as humans, I seem to sense disdain from the Northmen. Eventually, hopefully, that will change. But I do not expect it to happen in my lifetime, if any.
Well, at the least we have a choice over the ones that are on these ships here.
Indeed. Speaking of, where's Tamacti?
He went to the other ship. I can't remember its name. To feed them. I
will go meet him there. I need to go get food anyway.
Alright, I will meet you there in just a moment.
Also, I kind of lean in, kind of clasp his shoulder, lean down to his ear. I do not know what is wrong with Speaker Quarren, but these symbols on the wall, I do not trust them. Call me suspicious, but I believe he is up to something. Perhaps you can wrench it out of him better than I.
I need to scroll up in my DMs real quick.
Oh my god, brother. What are you doing, man? You supporting this witchcraft?
Step speaker. What did it say last time? I don't remember. Last time I saw it.
It actually said something along the line. I believe we pinned it. We did pin it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank God. You had the foresight.
I'm the GM. It's my job.
Last I read it, it wasn't anything concerning. But I do agree. Things have been strange. I think, he's not made for this life.
Well, he did say the sea stressed him.
He nodded. I wanted to give him the opportunity to, if not return home, return somewhere he'd be more comfortable. As I understand, we still have that teleportation gem.
Ah, yes. Speaking of gems, I do have a bag full of them that I need to know what they do, if we are going to use them. Hopefully when the ships meet, or we can have a council with the other leaders, there will be this wise woman again, as I do not seem to see her on this ship unless I have missed her.
She is the
She's the cook, I think.
Yeah, she's the cook on this ship.
Oh shit!
I'll tell him. I'll tell him because I don't know that.
She's behind the counters. She cooks the food on the ship. You'd probably find her on the way out.
I suppose I never went to get food from these people. Now that I think about it, very well. I will go see her at the kitchen.
And I will meet you and Tamacti on the other ship.
Very well. See you later. Tap him on the shoulder, and I'll make my way to the kitchen.
And Rubin will head into the room.
Okay.
You better calm this motherfucker down, man. He crazy.
He starts carving in his flesh.
And so you're going to search for the
The
chef?
wise woman.
Yeah,
I
the
need
merchant.
her knowledge to know what these damn gems do, because I think I have quite a lot of them.
We can take a quick break right here at 5. So we're back, and we're gonna pick right back up where Gabriel had been walking off to find the merchant woman that they had met out on the frozen sea, the one that originally told them like that the ships were gonna be out here. Now, kind of like the layout of the ship, right? In the middle of the ship, there's the stairs that go like between the floor, the top deck and the middle floor. But the one that goes from the middle floor down to the bottom floor where the slaves are is at like the front of the ship. The kind of like stockpile area is between those middle stairs that come from the top floor down to the middle floor, and the other stairs at the front of the middle floor that go down. For reference, does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yes.
I was imagining it different. Thank you for clarifying that.
So yeah, that's where that is. And so in going from like, if you were to go straight from the top deck down to the bottom floor, you would pass by it every time. And you see her there, gray hair and all, serving like bowl after bowl of this stew with this massive ladle to each of these kind of warriors that are coming up and trying to feed their bellies.
I'm gonna stand in line like the rest of them, because I am one of the guys.
Yeah. And the line is kind of dwindled by now. It's down to like 4 people other than you. And so then all of a sudden it's 3 people, and it's 2 people, 1 person. And you're next in line.
Hello, madam. Long time no see.
Yes. Are you hungry, young man?
If you would have some spare, yes. It's been a long day.
We have plenty. We'll have plenty for days. Here,
Good.
help yourself. And she like grabs up like a big bowl and like hands you an empty, smaller bowl, and like the ladle is there in the big bowl.
Damn. All right. I help myself by putting it in the smaller bowl, and time to ask her, I guess. I meant to ask you as well, if you would not mind. Inside the Temple of the Withered Warrior, I found multiple of these stones that contain spells. I have no idea what any of them do. If you wouldn't mind taking a look at them, whenever, if you have the time for it. I do not wish to bother you.
Well, it's not my job to secure the rest of the leftover food. I'm the one that cooks. So I think that this is something I could do tonight.
Sounds good then. Are you aware of where our room is?
I believe so. Back of this floor,
Correct.
right?
Because we're on the second floor, right? The mid floor right
Yes.
now?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Yes, at the end over there. And I point in the general direction of where the room is.
Then I can bring them back to you.
Excellent. If you wish, I will go get the bag that contains them, and you can do them on your own time.
I will be here.
I nod, and I take my bowl, and I'm gonna head back in the room, eat, and then we'll bring her the bag out so she can start working on them.
Okay. And what exactly was Rubin doing again when we went on break?
He was walking into the room to talk with Corin.
Okay. So then before Gabriel comes back in, let's get that. Let's hear that.
Yeah, he steps in, he closes the door behind him, makes his way over to Corin. First, he's not making himself hidden. He just steps right over and peers over his shoulder to see what he's writing, and how much it's progressed since the last time he.
It's like added on another full line.
Oh, all right. Oh, I want to know what that is.
I'm gonna DM it to you.
I was gonna make a joke, but
Who the hell is typing?
Me.
Always Prowler.
ah.
Waffle?
I don't like that.
Yeah, I would
Rubin speaks up. That's an interesting offering.
Oh my god.
Oh, son.
Father.
How long have you been standing there?
Just a moment.
Well,
Are you feeling well? I've noticed you've been quite agitated.
I've felt different. I'm not sure what's causing it.
And he nods a bit. Perhaps it's this lifestyle, constantly being on the road. We were running for almost 2 days straight, and you did hurt yourself as well.
I don't remember how I hurt myself, though.
Do you mind if I look at it again?
You may.
And he nods, and I don't know what he's wearing right now, but I do remember it was like on his abdomen, right? Or his
He's wearing
thigh.
just kind of like the robe that would be underneath all of his like normal chain and all that stuff.
Gotcha. I'm just gonna lift that shit up on whatever side it would be on.
Like his abdomen just front direct.
Yeah.
It's a lengthy injury, probably about 6 or 7 inches long.
Oh damn.
A lengthy cut, and it's still kind of seeping at the edges, like just.
Oh, so it's not
plasma.
even. Okay. Oh.
It's been bothering me. It happened long ago. It's confusing why it opened again.
Long ago. You mean
you were young.
before? Oh. And you don't remember how?
I do, but it's a story for another time. It was in defense of you.
Defense of me? I didn't
Yes.
know you had to defend me as a child.
You were too young to understand and seemingly remember.
Hmm.
Either way, it's bothering me now again.
And he nods a little bit. Perhaps there is someone that can tend to it among the ships. But that's not entirely why I came to speak with you tonight. I have 2 questions for you, primarily.
Yes.
The first, I know you're more adept in the arcane than I am. Do you know of anything that could break this captive silence? From what I've heard, he has a spell that prevents him from speaking.
A spell that prevents him from speaking.
It may not be true, it might be lying. Maybe not pressed hard enough, but I don't think Tamacti or Gabriel wouldn't have given it their all.
This is not particularly my realm of expertise. Mine is sangromancy, as you know.
And he nods. I figured it was worth an ask.
Yes.
The other is... Well, we know the destination that we are heading to. You're not a fighter in that sort of sense. I wanted to offer you a way out. We do have a gym that allows you to displace yourself to any location you wish. Should you choose to. It would not trouble me at all. We will be victorious, I know that much. And you could, well, do what you do best, your teachings. Start a new life.
Who has this gem?
I can ask around and get it. Easily, I assume.
Okay. It's worth considering.
When he nods. And as for your writings, I would prefer if you don't complete them yet. At least that one.
It's... the others cannot understand it. I'd be hard-pressed to think that they would.
Not for that reason.
Oh.
He looks down, towards the floor and back up. I don't think they deserve it.
I will near it to completion, but I will not complete it.
Thank you. I will get that gem, and I'll be back soon.
Good.
And with that, Rubin gives him like a little pat on the shoulder and turns about to exit the room.
And as you like bring your hand like and pat him on the shoulder, he kind of instinctively brings up his hand as if like a reaction against somebody that is aggressing him.
It doesn't look like, the witch hunter minds any.
Okay.
And he'll march off to actually go to that lunchroom.
It's this seems to be happening quite a bit, but it's oddly about this time that Gabriel probably makes his way back to the room with his bowl of food.
The door
You
opens.
guys
You
bump into
see,
each other at the door.
Hey man, what's up?
yo, what's up? What's good?
And as you kind of come out the door, so
I've spoken. I'm going to get that gem and leave that option open. I think it would be far better for his health.
you writing, Rubin?
A prayer. Well,
I am not an idiot.
and he nods.
Do not take one.
He nods and looks back towards the door, and back to Gabriel. An offering of life to our Lord, but
Tilt my head.
I've discouraged him from doing as such. I don't feel that it is necessary, nor warranted.
How does that work?
He's writing in his tongue, and if he doesn't complete it, the offering itself doesn't need to be enacted. But I imagine if the offering was completed and not enacted, it would mean trouble for all of us.
How so?
He shrugs his shoulders a little bit. You see enough of these things, and you get that feeling.
And what is the offering?
The slaves.
For what reason?
Goodwill, I can only imagine. Or perhaps upcoming battle, or his health, or I don't know. He hasn't written it yet.
I see. And how often does your lord respond to these offerings?
More often than most.
Guaranteed?
And again, he lifts his shoulders in a shrug. I can only go based off my own experiences, and in my experience, it has been consistent.
And how does one tell when the offering is complete? Is there a glow of the symbols? Is there one in particular that marks the end? Because I wish to know if it is completed when I walk inside of the room. Not today, but perhaps a few days from now, if you are not here.
The final words that end all prayers, of course.
Which
I
is...
could show you later if you'd like.
Yes, I would like for you to mark the symbol that marks the end, and give me a piece of parchment with it marked so I can tell. Because, well, I know he is important to you, Rubin, and he has been good with us. But if he does complete that prayer, well, he thinks I was a monster before. He has seen nothing.
I would like the opportunity to prevent this. That is my request.
You better do your best.
And he nods again. Yes, did you check on Tamacti?
No, I only spoke to the woman. I will give her our gems, and she will tell me, hopefully, what they do soon, as whenever she gets done.
Then I will find him. And he gives another nod. I will find him after I grab this gem. You eat well.
Oh, well, if you're looking for the gems, they're under my bed. You're looking
No, the teleportation one they had in the camp.
Yes. Well, here, I just step in the room quickly, like go under my bed, grab the bag, and give it to Rubin. Here, go give this to her while you're there. Tell her that I sent you, quote unquote. And at the same time, if she wishes perhaps to trade a few of the gems for that one, offer them to her.
And he nods. If I recall, she said it would be free if we were the Withered Warriors. But I will see what I can do.
Oh, and one more thing. When you speak
Yes.
to her, tell her if it is possible to teach this way of finding what these gems do. Perhaps she could teach it to Tamacti, who is more arcanely inclined than either of us. It would
And
be
he
good to
nods
have
again.
one of us know.
Certainly. I will I'll do my best.
Thank you. I will go look for Tamacti then.
He nods.
I start eating as I walk up the stairs towards the other boat.
And Reuben trails by his side until they reach, the kitchen area. And then he diverts to go speak to this woman.
Okay. Before we get to that, I want to come over to Tamacti. What is Tamacti doing at the time that all this is happening? He's so he's been feeding them. He's been giving them
I made
water.
that performance check,
Yes, that's true. You did.
which was a 13.
You're sure? None of them have been given water yet? I thought that I saw one of them and headed that way.
I found the bucket on the ground, dumped over. Perhaps he tripped and dropped it and went to do more important things, but regardless, they're not watered, they will expire, and that will cause more problems than it's worth.
Oh no, you're right. You're right.
Good.
As worthless as they are, they do need water.
Tamacti would nod to him and then begin walking away.
Okay. And you probably make your way up to the top of the ship then, or are you going back down? Or...
Yeah, I'll head up to the top.
Okay. Then what?
I'll head on over to our vessel.
Okay. It's like dinner time by now, so the sun is. It's maybe an hour or two away from.
I don't want to head over to our vessel yet.
Oh, okay.
I gotta return the bowl and the spoon.
Oh, true.
Can't forget about that. He was very serious about getting those returned. So
Oh yeah, can I hand that off to Gabriel as well to take to the man?
Wait, you took yours from the other ship too?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. If you're being serious about wanting to do that, then yeah, I'd say you probably would have had the thought to do it.
Then yeah.
Okay. Then I imagine the way that this happens is Gabriel, you make your way up to the top of the ship and you look over. You're looking around, and like I said, it's like an hour or two away from sunset, and you see walking up the stairs of the opposite ship the same time as you do, pretty much, almost as if you're mirroring each other. You step up and you see Tamacti like a light bulb above his head almost, as he like raises one finger like, oh, that's what I was gonna do, and turns around and goes back under the deck.
All right, I'll try to make my way across then. Actually, I'll just eat my bowl, like just down the fucking thing before I go across, because I look at the contraption, and I know I'm not agile enough to make this without dropping it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then coming back to Tamacti, you go back under to the middle deck.
yes, I would like to head back to the stew area and identify the stewmeister.
And he's there, like, kind of like taking a very dirty and well-used rag to kind of like clean out the bowls very crudely.
I put the ladle in the bowl and I offer it to him. Thank you. Here is your bowl and ladle. Returned as promised. I just switched into a Russian accent. Your bowl and ladle returned as promised.
And where's the other?
My friend may not be done eating, but I will make sure he brings it back. Do not worry.
Sure. Okay, if it's not back to me by tonight, what ship are you on?
We are on the head of the fleet. Tamacti would gesture sort of in the general direction through the walls of the ship to the one that they are on.
A sea serpent, I think, is going or something.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
The Sea Serpent, aptly named, it would seem.
Thorgrim does have a way with the dramatics. Okay. Then I will bust down every door, searching for my bowl.
Very well. I will let him know you're coming for him.
Right.
Thank you again. And Tamacti would leave.
And seemingly in pretty typical like fashion this session, Gabriel, you're probably just making your way across the like little bridge as Tamacti comes back up to the top deck.
I wave him, with the bowl in my hand that he's looking for, because I have two now. I'll make my way across, kind of holding onto the ropes as best I can, and jump the last few steps.
Mm-hmm.
Tamacti, how was your feeding session?
I look over to the guy that's like right next to us. Oh, the food was delicious, Gabriel. Thank you for asking.
No, you guys are like top deck now.
Oh,
so-
okay. Sorry, I thought he was like coming down to return
Not
the
yet,
bowl.
no.
Okay. It went fine. One of the crew members came down to water them, and we had a bit of a standoff, but he backed down.
Well, what say will he tell?
I'll probably tell everyone.
I suppose we will deal with this in the morning.
It is my burden to bear. I will handle it.
I shake my head. No, it is ours. But anyway, I bring this boat back to the cook. Rubin is downstairs on the other boat. We will get these gems sorted by that old wise woman. And I've asked Rubin to ask her if it is possible to teach this art. Perhaps you could learn.
Oh, yes,
You are certainly more inclined to the arcane than either I or Rubin.
would be very helpful.
I nod. I suppose I will join the two of you back on our boat. Perhaps crash for the night. It has been a long day. Tomorrow, hopefully, start speaking a bit more seriously to the leaders of these boats. We need to start hammering our point home before it is too late.
Yes, I agree.
Well, we will deal with whatever comes then. I've certainly been through worse.
I'm sure you have.
See you later. I tap you on the shoulder and I will make my way down. Give the damn bulls. Actually, bowl singulars. I get this one back to the others.
Yeah.
And Tamacti would then head across back to their ship and then go and get a bowl of stew for himself.
Okay.
Double dipping. Look at
Okay. Gabriel probably goes about giving the bowl back. We'll shorthand that, and then does he stay? I'm assuming he makes his way back over.
Yeah, make our way back. Of course.
Okay, then we're gonna come back over to Rubin and his search for the.
Just to be sure, the alarm hasn't tripped at all yet, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Rubin diverted to the kitchen with this bag over his shoulder. Gems. It's probably pretty heavy.
I actually just thought about it. The alarm probably would have tripped because Tamacti was just walking around down there like with the.
Oh, was that the ship with the?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, well.
But you also would have known that I was planning on it.
Yeah, if I knew he was doing that, then I probably would have ignored it.
Okay.
Let me see if it does it go away if it's been triggered.
I think so,
Okay.
but I'm not
Alarm?
entirely sure. But yeah.
Yes, I believe
Okay.
it does.
Well, that's
Okay.
unfortunate.
Then coming back to the bag full of gems. It's like I said before, they're like olive-sized gems. There's about 20 of them in total. There's 6 rubies, 5 emeralds, 4 sapphires, 3 amethysts, and 2 topaz in there. And all of them have their own sort of respective little wisps of light within them that are like smoking almost inside of them, and letting off like just a little bit of light, like a tiny bit, enough to glow.
Okay, he's probably got it hefted over his shoulder. Rubin's not the strongest man. Definitely not Gabriel strong. So he's got it over his shoulder, and he gets into line with the others
It's
to
just
patiently
you.
wait. Oh, it's just. Whoops, awkward. Yeah, I'd like to approach the counter. Is she behind it still?
Yeah, she's just like finishing up, cleaning up. Like she said to Gabriel, she's not the one that's responsible for putting away and storing the leftover food, but she does have her own kind of responsibilities, and so she's just going about those right now.
Okay, and he steps up to the counter. Excuse me.
Oh, are you here for some food? We're just about to put it away.
Yes, and this, and he, lifts the bag over and sets it gently on the counter. Gems.
Oh, you're,
Rubin.
yes.
And he
Okay,
nods.
and these are the ones that Gabriel had then?
Yes, should be all of them. He also wanted to know if the ability to identify what these gems are could be taught to a more arcane friend.
It could be. It could be.
Would you be willing to?
It will take some time, but I could teach it while we're sailing, perhaps.
And he gave another nod. And lastly, if I could bother you again, there was a gem you had when we saw you at the camp. One
Yes.
that could teleport someone, as you've described it.
Ah, yes. Are you interested in it?
I am.
It's expensive at 1,700 gold pieces.
And if I recall, you said the Withered Warrior would get it for free.
Did I say that?
Now I'm questioning myself. Yes.
Kind of like scratches at the side of her.
doubling-
Yeah, she's
doubling down on it.
reneging on the deal, dude. She's trying to rip
doubling
you off.
down on it. I'm doubling down. Yes.
Those were the words uttered. I have a good memory.
Hmm.
He would lie.
You know, I don't think that I would normally ask for this, but
A
Because
persuasion.
I not only in character but also out of character cannot remember.
I
Make for
can't
me
recall either.
make for me either a persuasion or deception or whatever. Like if you genuinely out of character think it's a persuasion, then it's a persuasion. But if you have any doubts and you think it might be a deception, then roll me a deception.
No, I'm pretty confident. I mean, it doesn't matter either way. It's the same mod for me, so I'll just roll persuasion.
Okay.
Because Rubin seems like he's confident in this, but not confident enough.
A 6.
I feel like I would remember that. How about this? You have plenty of gems here. It's entertaining to me to identify which ones are what spells. I will have this done by the end of the night, and we could perhaps make a trade.
And he nods his head.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'll get to work then.
And what is your name? I don't believe I caught it.
My name is Mother Ishka. That's what they call me aboard this ship.
Mother Ishka. It is a pleasure to meet you. Again.
The pleasure is all mine, child.
And I guess Rubin will reach for some food.
Here.
She like hands you over a bowl.
And he goes the bowl and gives another appreciative nod.
I will leave these gems here with you and return this bowl shortly. Thank you again.
Yes.
And probably about that time, Tamacti makes his way down below deck. He said he was coming here to look for food as well.
Yeah.
So what happens there then?
Tamacti rocks up and embraces the old woman. Now, he'll walk up and look around to see if there's any bowls of stew for the grabbing.
She looks like she is just about to dump the bowl, like last bowl that's on the table that was not claimed, back into like a giant sort of tub.
I
barrel.
will take that bowl off your hands gladly if it is available.
Oh, for you always.
Oh, you are such a kind woman. He'd place a hand on his heart and thanks.
Enjoy it.
I shall.
And Rubin nods over to Tamacti as a man appears.
I'm going to be leaving this area soon, so just find me in the morning and give me back the bowl or whoever is here at the quarters.
Very well. I will guard it with my life.
She gives you a kind smile, like a genuine smile, and then she goes about finishing up her responsibilities. It seems.
And Rubin just starts slurping. He's drinking down that bowl right then and there.
Tamacti would begin doing the same, and in between a mouthful of food, he would ask, I trust your activities went well.
And he's chewing a little bit of serpent meat, and he finishes with a gulp.
Yes. Very well. And yours?
Fairly well. I did run into some local resistance, but nothing I couldn't handle.
Local resistance?
Yes, one of the minders came down to give them some water and was not too pleased to find me feeding them. He, attempted to intimidate, and we had a bit of a staring contest, and I won.
I see. Is it a problem?
Almost assuredly it will be, yes. But one that I believe we can wait until morning to solve.
Then my last suggestion is dealing with this wizard captive we have before we turn in.
Dealing with him in what way?
I assume the ships have repositioned a little. We might be able to get in touch with this mage and see if we can break this spell, if there is one.
Yes, that may now be possible. That's not a point I had considered. And Tamacti would yawn.
Unless, of course, you would rather wait till morning. He will be out all night, I can assure you.
No, there's no telling where the ships will be in the morning. Best to check now. They're closed now. We should do it now.
And he slurps a little bit more and finishes up and puts the bowl on. Oh, actually, he keeps the bowl because they're no longer closed or open. So
Such an awful slurping noise.
Gabriel makes his way down the stairs at this point, down onto the second deck, because he was trailing just a little bit behind. He had to drop off the bowl at the other ship.
oh man, I got the whole gang.
Yeah, the whole gang's here.
The split party podcast.
Jesus. Gabriel, hello.
I nod. And we're down by the kitchen, right?
Yeah, we're in the kitchen.
Awesome. I guess I'll put my damn bowl on the table, so I'm finally free from wooden bowls. Holy shit!
I grabbed that bowl,
Finally.
I put it in my bowl, and then I put it into Tamakti's bowl.
Tamakti's not done eating. You keep your bowls
Oh.
away from his
Well-
bowl, you son of a bitch.
Oh, I'm gonna wait patiently, like a.
So many damn bowls.
I'm gonna wait patiently, like something stalking its prey.
Tamacti will finish and hand his bowl to you.
Yeah, he just stacks. He stacks it on top of your bowl that's in your hand and leaves you
Oh
with
my.
3.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, he'll put them away in his bag.
So, how is this thing teachable or not?
Yes, she said by the time voyage is finished, she would be able to teach him.
Good. Hopefully, it is a relatively simple process. We will not have. Well, we don't have much time for these luxuries.
No, perhaps even less than we might have had this morning now.
Indeed. Tomorrow we will need to speed up our timetable with this voyage, with this one finding out Tamacti, catching him in the middle of the act. It went about as well as I suspected, I imagine.
Well, it almost certainly could have gone worse, but luckily he decided to take the easy route.
Good. Even though I have full faith you could have defeated whoever, it would not have been a good look.
No, almost certainly not. Not something I wish to subject those people to. They are already quite fragile. There's no telling what a scene such as that would have done to their minds.
Indeed. Well, unless there was anything else left to do tonight, we should probably sleep. It has been a long day. With some bad sleeping the night prior.
We were discussing seeing where the major ship is and perhaps attempting to contact him.
With all luck, I assume it's at the other end of the fleet.
Well,
But we should speak to Thor then.
no point in not checking, right?
Why not? Then finish eating and let us go see where Thorden is. I
Alrighty.
assume he would know.
Let us check.
Or whoever's at the helm now.
And Rubin's gonna start walking up the stairs.
Mm-hmm. And
Now
We'll
Paul's
all
left.
go together for once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you guys, as you emerge, you see that it's now sunset. Like the sun is setting. It's like on the horizon, and you can see like that thin streak of light from the sun, like across the water, all the way from the horizon to your ship. Like you know how they do in the movies and stuff. And you see Thorgrim, like the ships are still like all kind of grouped together, like staying still as they're going about taking anything left off of the serpent that they would like bones and stuff like that. But it's probably gonna be cut loose soon. And and you see Thorgrim is there on the helm, just like leaning up against the wheel, arms crossed on it, like head nestled into his crossed arms. Probably been an exhausting day for him too. It's kind of evident now that he seems to be like the leaderly figure of the sea serpent specifically, as in the ship.
Nice. I guess walk over to the man.
He doesn't hear you coming, and he doesn't seem to notice if he did. He's got his head just like tucked into his folded arms.
Thorgrim.
Wake up!
Yeah, I fucking shove him over there. I'm just kidding.
Roger.
Thorgrim, how are you?
And he keeps his like head down in his arms.
Tired, I assume.
I assume that that's our guests, the new withered warriors.
Indeed. We had a question for you, if you had time to answer, or the knowledge to do so.
Is all of this typical of a day on the ships? Who's to say? Is that your question?
Well, that would have been one of them, but the other is to locate where the ship with the mages is. Or if there are multiple, then where they are. We need this prisoner cracked as soon as possible.
He brings his head up from his arms and kind of like rubs his just under his eye and above his eye with like the index and middle finger of his right hand on his right eye, and blinks a couple of times and looks around.
It would be the Wave Watcher. Where is that?
I do not know how you know
over
all
there.
their names or where. I look in the direction he's pointing.
He's pointing like past the ship that the captive mage from that morning is on, towards a ship like 2 past that.
Oh, okay, so it's not too bad.
Like not all in a straight line, but like
Yeah,
past
yeah,
that,
yeah.
and like off a diagonal offshoot, kind of to the side just a little bit. But like if you were to set up like a path of bridges, it would be from the ship next to you. The
Could we set up? Are we stopped for the night, or? Sorry, I missed that. If you said it, so.
It has not been discussed yet, actually.
Oh, okay. I look towards Thorgrim. Are we planning to stop for the night or tomorrow, or should we attempt one of these other maneuvers in the morning?
Well, I'll be sleeping soon, and that means that we'll continue sailing as soon as that serpent's cut free.
Very well. Then in that case, I would petition for us to keep the prisoner on this
On-
ship.
On this ship.
If we have the room. If not, we will have to travel on the other. Because, well, one of us will need to be there with one of the mages.
And where will you keep him down with the slaves then?
I assume so. That is where they keep him on the other ship. There's room.
If this is something that you'd like to do, I see no problem with it. You are welcome.
Then with your blessing, I will go get the prisoner and set him on ours.
By all means.
I give him a light bow, and I start heading towards the other ship. If you two can prepare an area down by the 3rd deck and find a room where, or a space we could put him, I will go get him.
When you move him, he will wake up.
I am aware. If he tries anything, I will break his fingers again.
Just be careful. Might know.
I know.
plenty of spells.
And I start heading down to the other ship.
Okay.
Rubin turns to Tamacti. Well, let's go find somewhere suitable.
Let's do it.
And presumably start heading to the slave deck again.
Yeah. So recognizing kind of when you guys get down there, and remembering back to how it was set up in the other ship, the Wintermaw.
He was chained to like the chains the slaves were on, right?
Yeah. It's like one limb to each sort of direction, like almost as if he's being quartered, and he's just like tied to these anchors in the floor that the slaves are anchored down to by their chains around their legs.
Gotcha.
And so it's logical that the same kind of thing would happen on your ship, probably if you were to hold a captive on it.
Yeah, it seems pretty logical.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy, job complete.
Okay, then I'm gonna come over to Gabriel because that's probably the one that will require more a role play. Gabriel, you make your way down to the bottom of the ship, uninterrupted. You could stop if you want to and check on anything. That's up to you. But if you were to just head down there, it's uninterrupted.
Yeah, I head down there if I'm not challenged by anyone, and I will walk among the slaves to go find my man, if he's still sleeping or not.
He is still sleeping.
Ah, good man. I'm gonna start untying him, I guess, from the four clasps that kind of keep him like laid down in a starfish. You know.
Mhm.
I'll start with his legs because that's probably the least dangerous ones.
Yeah. And he starts to kind of wake up
Yeah.
slowly, and kind of like blinks a couple times. And,
Good morning.
Morning already. Is
It does not. You just slept all day. Transporting you to the other ship.
He kind of like nods back off a little bit.
Do not try anything funny. If not, remember before you went to sleep. Your hands are healed. So is your leg.
He kind of like wiggles his fingers, raises his head, looks groggily at his leg.
You would find that his fingers are trapped because I roped them
Yeah,
together.
true. Well, that's probably smart, I suppose.
Well, it was either that or I kept your hands broken. So, I believe you will favor this option.
I appreciate it, I guess.
I nod as I start undoing the clasps of his hands.
He doesn't give you any grief.
Fair enough. That's how I like it. Strong enough to stand, or you do need me to lift you?
I can stand.
All right, I watch him stand up, and I'll kind of stand behind him as we walk forward. I'm not gonna hold him or anything, you know.
Will I need my hands to make my way across to the other ship?
Do not worry, I will handle that.
Okay. He stands up, makes his way for the stairs.
I
with your
follow him
guidance, kind of.
really close, yeah.
And then up to the second floor, and then up to the top deck, and eventually stands there at the edge of the boat, looking over at the sort of shaky, shabby bridge where it's just like a really long plank and these two taut ropes. This is it.
Indeed.
He takes in a deep breath.
You think you can make it?
Well, I did.
If not, I will hold you.
I did balance on the crow's nest, so it can't be too tough.
I would assume so. And I will be pretty much right behind him. So if he does, like, you know, start to lose balance or trip over, I'm just going to catch him.
Okay. He steps up and he starts to walk across. He stops about halfway, looking down at the water as if contemplating something.
Uh-huh. I put my hand on his shoulder. I kind of just tap it once. Do not think about it.
Oh, well, I suppose I'm guilty of thinking about it.
I know. I would do the same in your position. Just keep walking. I assure you it is not a fate you wish.
He keeps walking across and to the other ship, and he hops down off of like the little plank there that's across the railing, sort of, and
Nice. See,
And
I'm not a monster. I'm a good guy.
and now he's standing at the edge of the stairs leading down.
All right. I will start escorting him down to the same slave deck, just on another ship.
Mhm.
Hopefully meet the boys down there.
Yeah, and you do meet the boys down there, and the mage looks a little bit concerned when he sees both Rubin and Tamacti down there. Oh.
What? Were you expecting a room?
No, I was expecting this. All three of you in the same place. Should I expect torture?
Well, we are traveling together. No, that is not the plan. We simply wish to transport you with us for when we meet the wizards who can hopefully lift this whatever you have on you. And then you can tell us why you were sent here and blah blah.
What if I strike a deal with you?
What deal? The only deal I'm interested in is knowing why you're here.
You're going to raid, right?
Well, that is the intended plan, but hopefully we can tamper that for the moment. There are worse things that are coming.
What if I help?
How so?
I help raid, and when the
Well,
raiding
see,
is done, I'm
Here's
free
the thing.
and left on top.
None of us are interested in raiding. It is a means to an end. What we are interested in is to gather the men here and women who will fight for us in this battle against the Lich, which I'm surprised Matisse did not speak to you about if you met her.
Our encounters were very brief when she...
Yet you chose her name, specifically. You knew why.
She's sharp and gentle. My favorite student for the day that I had her.
But you knew that she knew us. And you were sharp enough to know that using her name would piss me off.
She talks a lot.
I would assume so. Which is why I'm saying I am surprised you do not know of our purpose. Because yes, she does speak a lot.
Anyways, tie me down. I don't want to... I'd rather sleep again.
Very well. Do you have any more of that whatever special water you gave him, Rubin? I suppose if not, my friend, you will have to sleep on your own. That might be hard.
I do.
Well, if you have any to spare, give him some. We will tie him down. Do we have enough, do we have bindings here on this deck? I kind of look at what they've done, if they found bindings or not.
Rubin's got rope. A lot of rope. But, and manacles. He does have manacles.
Oh, alright.
Okay,
I
that's
see
weird.
you. Yeah, well, a little strange, but I've seen
Yeah,
worse.
dude, don't kink shame me.
Yeah, he's a witch hunter, you
Jesus.
know. I assume he would capture sometimes creatures and
you know,
beasts.
I planned on capturing
Or
a
I don't know,
creature,
maybe
but-
blood sacrifices, or
Yeah, or other weird things like that.
Excuse me.
the
come
homeless or
on.
orphans. And...
Regardless, Rubin has a pair of manacles in his hands and,
All right,
and a
I'll
long
start-
coil of rope.
I'll start tying up some ropes, you know, 4 of them, so like one for each limb, and while Rubin works on his manacles on fastening them, I assume, to the ends of these ropes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the mage who's been going by Matisse lays down there, and he extends all of his limbs out to each direction, kind of like, all right, well, just get it over with, kind of, you know.
Fair enough. That's how I like it, you know? No fighting. Because if he wanted to fight, I was ready. Kind of wanted it
Did
to
you
happen.
I assume you undid his hands for this purpose, or are you still just like,
No
You can
point
go.
in undoing his hands.
okay,
His hands can remain bound. I see you there. Don't
Okay,
you try to
okay.
spin one on me.
okay, just double checking, dude.
Yeah,
it's
of
my
course.
job. But yeah, he doesn't give you any grief about
Sounds good.
constraining him.
And we do that. Takes 5-10 minutes, and I suppose we leave back to go upstairs. Unless Rubin stays to give him his damn drink.
Yeah, Rubin's gonna stay down there.
Here's some NyQuil.
Yeah.
Well, I will see you all back at the room. It's been a long day. I could use the rest. So could all of you.
Yes, sleep well.
I nod and start heading back to the room.
Mm-hmm.
And Rubin looks over towards Tamacti as he's like finishing tying the last knot, you know?
What?
What?
Why are you looking at me while tying knots?
I don't know. You're still standing here looking at me.
Well, last time I left someone alone with him, he got his hands broken. And I'm not saying that you would do something like that, but yeah, forget it.
But, well, you would do something like that.
Tamacti turns and walks away.
and Rubin watches him gonna walk away.
And then brace his hands.
Yeah, he starts breaking his hands. No,
Come on, dude.
grabs
I
his-
got his hands healed.
He grabs his canteen and he fills it with some water and sprinkles some of the herb that he's been putting in his water to sleep in there, and sits down next to the man.
I do have a question for you before you sleep.
And he starts snapping like in front of his face.
If it will allow me to sleep quicker, then by all means ask.
He has his eyes closed already.
How was Matisse when you saw her? Was she cured of her affliction?
That was, in fact, the first thing that happened on her arrival. It was painful at first for her, but then it was relief. And then she said that she wanted to train in the Raven Court. And so I was her teacher for the first day. I didn't teach her much, but I went over some basics and things that she would need to know.
You were a teacher at the Raven Court.
We're all teachers at some point. Teaching the new initiates, the less adept.
And he gives a nod. Well, you answered my question, so I will give you sleep. And uncaps his canteen after shaking it about a bit, getting it real good,
Uh-huh.
and goes to feed him said water.
And he takes a couple of gulps of it and then kind of like purses his lips, like, all right, that's enough, kind of like sort of gesture.
Yeah, definitely doesn't give him at all, because he needs some.
Yeah. I'm gonna say the first time you gave it to him, you gave him like a double dose.
I gave him a whole canteen.
Oh, okay. Are you keeping track of?
Yeah, I've been subtracting. Don't worry,
Okay.
I'm keeping track. I just
Okay.
subtracted another one for his what he just did,
Okay, good.
and I'll subtract another one for what I'm about to do.
Okay. Then he drinks that down and then kind of like rests his head down on the floor with a thud. Sweet dreams.
Neither you nor I will dream. But yes, sleep well.
You're so weird.
He smirks just a little bit.
And then he begins cutting up. No,
There it is. I knew it was coming.
no, he lifts up and starts walking to the edge of the ship, the stairs. And as he's like sitting on the stairs, I'm gonna once more put an alarm at the entrance to the, I guess, bow or whatever this is. So if anyone enters,
Yeah.
Rubin will know.
Yeah, and it would be kind of odd for somebody to enter during the night. Definitely.
Yeah, and yep. Then he's gonna step up and go to their room.
And as you make your way up the stairs, you pass by Thorgrim, who seems to be going to bed, and but first he's stopping and he's talking to the man that gave you guys kind of a hard time when you had first gotten on the ship. And he's just muttering something like, "Yeah, just head us east until we reach the edge of the frost there, the ice, and then let out the whistle once and turn south. Easy as that." And they're just kind of like having a short conversation.
Rubin offers a wave as he passes, but doesn't interrupt their conversation. Just keeps going all the way back to the room.
And I assume that Tamacti also made his way back to
Correct,
the room,
yes.
right? Okay, so you guys are all in the room then, we'll assume.
Yep.
Let's hear it. Corin is turned out on his side, facing the wall, so it's hard to judge whether or not he's asleep.
Has there been any new writing, carving on the wall since the last time I was there?
No.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, Rubin just makes his way to the back.
yeah, Tamacti's just gonna crawl up onto his bed.
Yeah, I'm already schlimp.
He'll take his rifle holster off and sort of just lay it against the bed, but he's gonna keep everything else on. Just lay on top of it like he did last night.
Mm-hmm. There's as you guys all crawl into bed and Gabriel's sleeping and Corin is, who knows what Corin's doing. And
Yeah,
you guys are
right.
both crawling into bed. There's a knock on the door.
Oh my god, bruh. I get up. I do it.
Oh, okay.
I get up. I go open the door.
Oh, sorry to interrupt.
Who is it?
It's the
It's the
Mother
lady,
Ishka.
Mother Ishka. Yeah.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yes. No problem.
she's holding at her side like the bag of gems
Oh, done already.
and a rolled up kind of piece of parchment. Yes, it's a simple work.
Thank you.
It's something that only needs to happen once for a group of them.
I nod. I appreciate the work you put in. Thank you very much. I grab the bag and I assume the parchment is like a list of what each does.
Yes.
Awesome.
It's not like a super detailed list like it just kind of clumps together the rubies and the emeralds. Like you can't really tell the difference between the gems anyways. They're all very similar.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Is there something you need for this or anything we could do for you?
No, but I was speaking to Rubin about perhaps trading a couple of them for the teleport gem.
Yes. I assume well, we will take a look at them in the morning and see which
Yes.
ones we
Yes,
ever
another time.
utilize.
Another time, definitely.
I will.
It's
We will
getting
come
late.
to you with the gems that we do not need for the teleport one.
Yes. Rest well.
You as well. I give her a slight bow, and I kind of sit on the bed, put the gems below my bed again. I'll just start like kind of going through the parchment, see if we got anything interesting.
Yeah, and as the door shuts, she walks away.
Give me the list. Give me the list in a DM Prowler already. God damn.
Rubin's gonna come over and look at the list as well.
What are you
So-
doing? What are you showing
So you
here?
might as well just send it to all of us.
Let's see if we got anything cool. Oh, we got some cool stuff. God damn.
And
Okay, so
as
you
you
wanna
guys
share,
are
bro?
sitting down, kind of looking over this list and realizing it was told in one of the recaps that this was the power of 10 mages at your fingertips. And I think that
They weren't
looking at this
kidding.
list, it was not an exaggeration.
They
But
weren't kidding.
as you guys are looking at this list, it is
I'll
getting
do
to that time. We
I'll
are
do it.
going to end that
Oh
session
my god.
here.
Oh, Clinton, you didn't send me the list.
Sorry, we're ending the session there.
Yeah, only I have the list.
You can't look at the list, man. Sorry.
I'll
But yeah,
post it in D&D.
we're ending the session there. That brings 3B to a conclusion. We thank you guys for popping in and listening. This one I think was a pretty fun session. I'm looking forward to getting to show you guys this one. Yeah, thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will catch you guys next time. As always, don't forget, never split the party. See you guys.